Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight to Risen Esports Winter Team Builder League Week 4. Only on Tuesdays, you know who it is. It's Bamis Division. I'm your play-by-play caster, Kevin Dunk, joined by Aerosteon on color, and we are very excited to be your caster for tonight's match. Would like to shout out the man keeping things running smoothly in the background, and that being Multitudes, who is now managing tonight's stream to production for us today. For our best of 3 match tonight, it'll be between the Emus of Destiny and Crouters. These two teams represent the top of their bracket, being Team Kyogre. As we inch closer towards playoffs every passing week, these teams will need to heat it up to show us who is actually the best in their bracket. Today's a special day in Bamis, as there's actually 2 stream games going on simultaneously. So if you're up for it, check out Risen_Esports2 on Twitch and tune into the second live stream that we have going on between the Big Bongo Boys and Sneaky Calzones. With that, shout out to the amazing people over on Risen Esports number 2. We'd like to bring it back to this one as I pass it over to my awesome co-host Arrow to take us through the first phase of draft and share his thoughts on the matchup between these two teams, because they have some mastery points up in this house, because these are some massive mid laners, baby. Arrow, take us away.
Thank you, Kevin, and wonderful introduction there. And you are correct. There are 2 players that have really high mastery points. So I'm going to be highlighting, CRT's mid laner Slimy with Talia, with a large amount of Talia mastery, 2.8 million. But I'm kind of expecting. Emus of Destiny to be banning that one out. I mean, we have Nico already banned out, Talia already being hovered here, so not too surprised. And the other high mastery that we have for Emus of Destiny is their mid laner as well, Govna, with 1 million mastery points on Vel'Koz, which also has been banned out by CRT. So no surprises there on the 2 bans for both teams. Nico also being one of CRT supports most play. Nami also being hovered here on the bans and will get banned out. So they're really targeting Olosono on that support there. So we'll see how CRT want to adjust to that. And I want to point out that Jarvan ban is directed at Emus of Destiny's jungler Dane, because that is one of their best champions by far. The other one being Wukong. So I expect Emus to pick up the Wukong probably in this first rotation, but Rise going to be locked in here for CRT, and Slimy. That is, I believe, one of his most played this season as well. So no surprises there. Rise being super strong with that new item of the season. Blanking actualizer,
baby.
Actualizer, yep, yes, yeah. So that item super broken on Rise, but that's a 3rd item for him, so he'll have to get through the game first 2 items before he gets to that big power spike of Actualizer. So the Anivia coming in, that's going to be one of the premier Rise counters of this season. So as Rise has risen in priority this season, in especially professional play, of Nivea has also risen in priority as the counter pick to Rise. So no surprises there, and the Cassante being hovered here is interesting. I find it not strange, but they did just pick their solo laners in the first rotation. So Cassante going to be blinded on red side. So I would assume that they're probably going to try and keep their support counter pick for last. But so far, what thoughts on the draft, Kevin?
Yep, so far it looks pretty standard. I mean, like you said, Arrow, it's perfectly on point there. Nivea is just like one of the premier counters to Rise, especially in tier 1 play, right? For anyone who's, not super familiar with what the Rise and Nivea matchup looks like, Nivea is super weak early game, has a lot of mana problems, and Rise has that similar issue, but Anivia in that scaling late game has the ability to have that area control with the Glacial Storm, right? Rise is a champion that, can pump out tons of damage, especially on 3 items, like you said, and it is very hard to get in range of Anivia in the late game, walking through that Glacial Storm. But get some excitement here from Arrow as we see Kha'Zix locked in for the Emus, and Xin Zhao and Bessa locked in for CRT. Honestly, I think that EOD are pretty happy with this. We got a pretty beefy front line. Kha'Zix is a great counter to Xin Zhao, just due to the fact that Xin Zhao can't escape when he's isolated against the Kha'Zix without flash. And Anivia, is pretty efficient against multiple short-range champions, right? Like in that late game, You're
Yeah.
trying to walk through like past the wall. You're trying to walk through the glacial storm. You're trying to get through the stun gets thrown out at every angle. It's going to be very difficult, I think, for CRT to kind of jump on this Anivia unless they have some reliable engage. You're kind of right now just relying on the Mbessa with that ultimate, the public execution to just jump on the Anivia. But so far, I'm pretty in favor of EOD's draft, but I'm happy to hear what you think. Does CRT have some ways to get into this? What do you think, Arrow?
I mean, I'm really liking. I love not just the adaptations, but the ideas that both teams are going in right now. I mean, um, CRT, I think with that Shinzao pick, it kind of eliminates the idea that Mbessa could be going into the jungle. Clearly, I think Mbessa will be going into that Kasante lane. So I'm very interested to see. I think you had a great point there. Kha'Zix, in theory, can solo out a Shinzao in a 1v1, right, with that isolation damage. So no surprises there, other than the fact that I didn't know that Dane played Kha'Zix. So this is interesting to me. But look at all of these support bans that we're seeing so far. I mean, both teams really heavily targeting out. I mean, this is also the interesting thing that I just want to note is that both teams have picked their top side of the map in the first 3 picks. So we're gonna see an 80 carry blind right here, and then CRT is gonna have to counter with their 80 carry, but then blind their support as well. So we're gonna have to see. We'll be interested to see. Jinx gonna be hovered here. Some late game insurance. If they do lock this in, then they will. So late game insurance gives Mbessa another target, and perhaps makes their decision a little harder between Anivia, between Jinx on who to dive onto, of course, right? So I think Jinx might struggle against this Shinzao as soon as they pop that Crescent Guard, but it all dependent on how the game is going, of course. So Jinx being locked in here. I mean, if CRT want to go for more lane bullying, that is a choice. But I think Marin is much more of a scale to late kind of 80 carry player. So Melio kind of indicating that there might be a longer range 80 carry. Sivir is in line with what Marin does like to play. So Sivir being picked into this Jinx will struggle on a little bit early with that range, but the wave clear on the side of CRT will always be there. So I'm very, very interested to see what Emus of Destiny can pick up here in the support role. Alistar being hovered will give them a little more frontline in theory, but their laning phase might be a struggle, especially into the double range of the CRT lane. So Alistar finally locked in here, and all across the board, I mean, it looks like a pretty standard front to back composition, given except for of course this Kha'Zix that's going to look to find unique angles and dive onto the back line. But CRT have the team fight composition that wants to again both teams kind of going for front to back, of course, but I think too many good things on both sides. I love seeing each what each team want to pick. So if you have any thoughts on this bot lane matchup, Kevin, I know we're both 80 carry mains, so I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, 100% Tara. I think you're right on the dot there. Sivir Milio is likely going to have that early push and just be able to bully the Jinx Alistar, right? I think the bonus range from the Cozy Campfire giving Sivir, the attack range to kind of match Jinx means that they'll likely have that winning matchup, and Sivir can get that level 1 push just with that ricochet. And Alistar can't actually headbutt pulverize on an angle if Milio's fast enough with the reaction time on the knockback from the soccer ball. You can messy the cow back to where he goes. But in the team fights, I actually really like the Alistar because the only way you kind of win a team fight from CRT is that you have to take out either the Jinx and Anivia with dive, right? Because you're at a substantial range disadvantage against Anivia Jinx. And I think that with the Alistar, if they play, correctly and like kind of mark people that are trying to dive like the Mbessa, like the Xin Zhao, there's just no chance that CRT have in a late game team fight to get on any of like the key carries that can outrange, zone control with the Chompers, with the Glacial Storm. And then you have a decent front line with Kasante to make sure, the Xin Zhao / Rise can't get in. And Kha'Zix, is a bit difficult to operate in the team fights. But I feel like with Kasante as a dive partner, isolate the Milio or the Sivir, or maybe just turn around and isolate the target that's trying to jump in on your Jinx and Anivia. I really think that the Emus have a great draft here. I mean, CRT, I will have to see if they can, manage to outplay it, especially in the early game. I think the onus is on them to bring the beat down onto Emus because, yeah, just in that late game, you have less reliable engage compared to something like the Alistar. Ambessa is a great again, but those angles are hard to find and sometimes dangerous if you go too far from yourself. And then Rise really struggles to get up close and personal without the realm warp. So pretty even team comps like you said, Arrow. I do like EODs a bit more. I favor that a little bit more just due to the structure. But CRT have a lot of tools. They'll have a lot of damage. I think their early game is substantially better. So they'll have to, I think, leverage that early game advantage and turn that into a winning mid game.
For sure. And I think, I mean, you brought up some really, really good points there. And I think you are correct. If Alistar is just standing next to this Jinx as Mbessa ults onto them, that Mbessa is getting headbutted away, right? So, same thing with the Xin Zhao, same thing. Yeah, both of them together are going to have a hard time, especially with this Alistar, assuming that's what the goal of this Alistar is, right? But we'll have to see how each team wants to play out this early game. I imagine Xin Zhao, Kha'Zix, there's not going to be too drastic of a clear speed difference, so we'll have to see which one, where they're going to be pathing. I imagine both are going to be pathing down to this bot lane, or it might be volatile in the top lane, but if the only case where I see either jungler going to top lane, it will be the Xin Zhao looking to get this Mbessa ahead, so that when she does dive into the back line, she's just unkillable, of course. But I do imagine that there will be some attention on this bot lane, given Alistar, like you said, gonna have a hard time setting up a gank with that Melio soccer ball interrupting him. But good luck soccer balling away a flash Q Alistar. So pretty. We'll have to see what the game plan is for either team, and pretty much we'll start from level 1 and the jungle pathing. So, as I think, yeah, I think both teams are getting ready to get into games. So, Kevin, any last words before we get to that point?
Yeah, I mean, just talking about the flash pulverize, I think that is kind of like the mechanics test in the bot lane because, Sivir does have the spell shield. If you can react to the flash pulve, you will win lane. And then if you don't, you're kind of cooked, right? Like Milio can only block so much. I mean, I actually really, like the Milio against something like the Anivia and the Kha'Zix because, you have the ability to hit that breath of life to get that team-wide cleanse if someone is stuck in an Anivia stun. Kha'Zix, does have to jump on someone to be effective, and Milio has a lot of tools to, keep him back with that mega fire kick, with the shields, just get enough healing before Kha'Zix can maybe reset with a jump. But yeah, I think that kind of goes out the window late game once it's Anivia and Jinx that become like those late game, monster carries, because you can't really out heal or out shield or cleanse the Jinx just blasting you with the rockets at 3 items, especially with the Anivia doing zone control and maybe separating your divers with that crystallize for the wall. So yeah, I mean, I do favor EOD maybe like a 70-30. I think CRT just have a pretty hard comp to execute in that mid-late game. But Arrow, I'd like to hear your thoughts on if you were to put some odds on the current game 1 draft. What are your final thoughts?
There's too many good things about each comp. I mean, I think 70-30 is pretty steep if I had to say, Kevin. I guess I see a lot of good points that you have brought up. I mean, oh man, I'm looking at this Rise, I'm looking at the Xin Zhao and Bessa. That's a really strong top side. So if they can get something going early, maybe they could just steamroll and snowball the game in their favor. And at the end of the day, Sivir with their wave clear can stall out a game pretty long. If they can get some dragon stacking going with that early, push advantage, and if Xin Zhao is indeed pathing to that bot lane, or you know, depending on where they're going, you know, just they should always have priority on this dragon. So if they can get some dragon stacking, stall for a while, and you know, get to the point where Rise gets that actualizer, Sivir gets that, you know, that third item, LDR and or IE, then it's pretty hard to argue against a Sivir with a mid to late game Sivir and a mid to late game Rise. But I think you are right. I mean, they have a lot of HP to try and punch through with that Cassante, with that Alistar, and then of course there's always the threat of that Kha'Zix, of course. But I imagine that, I mean, what EOD has going for them is that I think you did point it, like you briefly mentioned it, but Melio's ultimate has you generally used as a team wide cleanse, but on the side of EOD, they have only, you know, a Nivea stun, you know, a Kha'Zix evolved W slow, and then, you know, an Alistar stun with his E, but that's about it. So then, you know, the value of this Melio R isn't going to be as great. And then of course there's always the fun combo that Sivir spell shield doesn't actually fully cleanse the stun from the Nivea, and you can't spell shield a full Alistar combo as well. So, you know, there is the chance that they do run into some issues there, but I don't know. I'm leaning more 50-50, if anything 60-40, and I'm leaning in favor of CRT, honestly. I like this draft a lot. I do like this draft a lot. I actually think EOD have a lot more execution, or have a higher execution, have more to execute on because of this Kha'Zix. Because this Kha'Zix is just the X factor, in my opinion. They're not your standard front to back. They are going to look to dive, look to assassinate people, and if they can get ahead, then all of a sudden your jungle is just going to have a void bug running around and just assassinating you at any given point in the game. So I you know, I can see the avenues for both of these teams to win, but I just have to I've either 50-50 or slightly favor CRT, in my opinion.
Okay, nice. So after, you know, you kind of convinced me, I think I might be a little traumatized from my last games from the previous night where Kha'Zix absolutely ran me down, because that champion is getting nerfs in the next patch. So, you know, it's not just me getting destroyed by this character. But yeah, I'll change my prediction to 60-40, but still in the favor of EOD. But I do see the potential of the top side, like you said, Arrow. Yeah, I'm getting notes from production that we can get straight into the game. So for all of our viewers, thanks again for tuning in. You know, leave your comments, get active in the Twitch chat on which draft you think is going to win, and we're going to jump straight into the game here, starting off first game of the night for Risen Team Builder Bamis, Week 4. The Emus take on the Crouters. Take us away, Arrow. How will this early game go?
All right, let's see. As I've said in the past, with the new changes to the season, level 1s are kind of non-existent now. Very, very sad, but the minions spawn faster, everything starts a lot quicker, so I'm gonna be starting with nothing too special so far. I mean, what's interesting to me is that both of these junglers are going to be pathing the top lane, so I was wrong in that sense. So Kha'Zix and Shinzel were starting on the respective red and blue camps, so we'll have to look at these we'll have to take a look at these bot lane as like just to see, you know, what's going to pan out as these junglers are going to be pathing away from them. But as right now, it looks like, you know, Sivir getting that lane priority as we suspected in the draft. But right now, probably going to be pretty standard early game. I imagine not too much action going to be going on apart from this top lane, except for just some early trading. But ooh, big damage there in the mid lane. But oh, I do have to point out that I think we have some subs here, because it's actually not it is a different mid laner and a different jungler and a different support as well. So apologies for my for not knowing this. I think the normal jungler is in the mid lane, and then I think they have a sub jungler and a sub support. So apologies for the for not being informed enough, but I think everybody on the side of CRT on blue side is indeed the correct the correct lineup. So have to keep an eye out. I mean, they still have their, I would say, star mid laner with on that rise, having most of the have probably the most games of solo queue on their team, but taking some heavy training, but nothing too serious right now.
Yeah, I'm genuinely surprised at how the mid lane matchups go, but Headbutt Pulverize onto this Milio, but I think he's just going to walk out pretty scot-free. I mean, the healing from the campfire means that they get a lot of shielding here, but the wave managed to get pushed in from the side of the Emus, so good job, you know, contesting that push. Honestly, yeah, like I was saying before, it's just very confusing, to me at least. I would expect the K'Sante to be losing early and the Anivia to be losing early, but they're actually both winning their lanes, so it's, you know, maybe a bit of a mechanics, you know, advantage from them, because the Ryze has already, you know, had to flash and leave lane while the Anivia is still here. So, you know, very aggressive from Dane here on the Anivia, kind of beating out Slimy P-Hands in what should be, you know, a pretty weak matchup for the Anivia early, at least.
Yeah, I mean, but if you look at Synivia as well, they also burned their flash. So look for some form of play in the mid lane. I mean, Xin Zhao is hovering the Ryze, so maybe there's a play there. No, he's just looking to get his bot lane scuttle. So no double scuttle on the side of either team. I think Xin Zhao is just going to get that bot lane scuttle and then probably look to take a back here. They are sitting on some gold, and they'll probably have some time to get their gold, go back to in full clear again. But so far so good in this mid lane. I mean, as I was saying, the only avenue would be an Anivia looking to get a kill onto the flashless Ryze, but Ryze does have Ghost, so it might be able to dodge out on any potential lane or any potential gank opportunities there. So we'll say that bot lane was a little bit surprised that Jinx and Alistar got a push at some point in that game, but it looks like lane going back to what's supposedly normal. But oh, it looks like nothing too serious right now. Yeah, just a standard or like pretty normal early game so far.
Pretty chill indeed, as we see here. Yeah, just like wet noodle fight. Somehow Fandong on the K'Sante has that farm advantage, and somehow, yeah, Dane
trading in the jungle
as we see. Oh wait, near the jungle, as we see Rainy Day going hard on the Xin Zhao. Burnt, actually no flash. I'm surprised that Xin Zhao didn't panic flash there. I would have probably done that if I was getting chased down by the bug. So, you know, a bit of aggression, but they're still pretty even in farm. You know, everything is equal, and I think, you know, equal game state for both teams. I'm pretty sure that Engine on the Jinx and Dane on the Nivea are pretty happy with that, because these champions are just so good at scaling with gold, and the range advantage will become, you know, a bit more significant coming into the late game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, on the jungle exchange, I think Iconic on the Xin Zhao had his mid laner kind of roaming down, so probably not too scared of the 1v1 as he knew his mid laner was coming. But it looks like Rainy Day on this Kha'Zix is on the Dragon, so what should be, you know, Dragon stacking on the side of CRT will go in favor of the Emus of Destiny. So so far, I mean, the only surprising thing is Dragon going to the side of Emus of Destiny, but so far nothing too bad. But I think knowing that Xin Zhao was still pathing top, going to those camps, they probably saw the opportunity to get Dragon there. So good play on the side of Rainy Day on this Kha'Zix to recognize that. But there will be a few camps behind on their clear, but doesn't look like they'll get punished for it. I mean, Xin Zhao looking for a play here.
Public execution. The Xin Zhao is in position. Thandong using the Pathmaker to get out. Dashes out with the footwork. Can they survive this? I think they can. Nice job. Didn't even have to burn the flash, actually, in that play. Lee Ethan got a very nice ultimate off. But Iconic just wasn't in range, but the Flame Chompers are here. The Ignite is invested. Olofsonu taking very low Engine, just blasting him. Doesn't have the ulti, though, and now Marin is turning this around. Fully stacked on that lethal tempo, does big damage, gets headbutted away. Now Redest taking some chunks, but I don't think Olufsonu wants to walk up because the heal was invested there. Flash still available for all of these laners, but yeah, we're seeing the aggression from the Alistar, but now we see the stun. Slimy P-Hands gets walled off, but it's not even needed, and the kill goes over to Dane, who puts him on ice. A solo kill for first blood in this game. Surprising as it is, it has been Anivia just taking the kingdom in this mid lane. Very nice play from them to find the solo kill.
Yeah, it's the jungler playing as the mid laner in today's game, getting the solo kill onto Slimy on this rise. Great play there coming in from Dane. I mean, I don't know how proficient they are with mid lane, but they're looking good so far, if I had to say. So great play there, you know, rocketing themselves into a pretty, I would say a pretty decent gold lead there in the mid lane. I mean, both flashes just coming back up for the both sides. So Dane, knowing that Rise cannot get out of their ultimate, and you know, especially with that wall.
Oh, wait, Fandon getting the Q3 hit for the knockback, doing very aggressive trading here in advance. But now Slimy P-Hands getting ganked by Rainy Day on the Kha'Zix. Has to use the flash immediately, but the leap follows. Can the Taste of Fear do enough damage? Gets one more flash to follow. Big damage from them to get the kill, as we see trading on the top side again. Thandong is winning this out though. Bleathen running back, gets hit with the Q3 for the knockback into the all-out. Has to flash away. Pathmaker only hits the minions, but that is the aggressive Cassante plays, making it so that Lee Ethan burned the flash. But now in the mid lane, Dane is actually chunking him out. Iconic walled off, has to flash. Flash follow from Dane actually gets the kill. As Anivia's taken over the mid lane already, because they just got 2 solo kills for themselves in a very short span of time. Jungler and mid lane go down for the side of CRT, but now, still fighting here. Redist getting aggressive, but Engine has no mana to follow up. The Ricochet is able to clear the wave, so Marin and Olusonu are pretty good position now. I think this Alistar is just trying to bait out a fight.
Yeah, I mean, I said that flashes were coming up, and indeed they were, but I mean, Slimy Hands pushed up way too far there, gets punished by Rainy Day on this Kha'Zix and Dane on this Anivia, gets chased out, dives under tower, gets the kill onto the Kha'Zix, and then I think Iconic trying to clear the wave, and Dane just, you know, punishing the lack of respect that coming in there for Iconic. So great play coming in from Dane. I mean, really showcasing that they're even though they are not even though they aren't playing in their main role, I mean, they're still very proficient on this Anivia. So great plays coming in for Emus of Destiny, and I mean, this early game looking super good. And I mean, I noted it in draft. Like, I think the reason why I was more in favor of CRT with this draft is because I think it's just this Kha'Zix needing to execute and getting ahead to the point where they can run the map. So right now, I mean, I might be eating my words, because I mean, this Kha'Zix is pretty fed. They just got their Umbleglaive, and then now Anivia in combination of this Kha'Zix is going to be running the map alongside each other. So so far so good for the side of Emus of Destiny. And
Realm into the bottom lane. Redis gets the knock up into the knockback. The zap gets absorbed. The Call of the Hunt invested. Redis pops the ult before the damage reduction, but Engine's taken low. He's getting chased down. The super mega fire kick keeps the
Rainy Days is here.
Rainy Day is here. A nice knockback into the turret. Slimy P-Hands taken very low. Goes down, and the Xin Zhao finally make it.
TP in.
A lot of damage, but the TP from Dane damage gets some iced out as Olusonu goes down. Not even rocket needed, as we see Marin and Iconic getting isolated here. It's a 2v4. Can they turn this around? Wind becomes lightning, misses. Iconic jumps
Investa coming in.
Now it's the TP invested from the Investa, but I don't think Xin Zhao can do anything, as Engine gets the kill. Public execution misses as Engine flashes away. Bleathen is now in a 1v4, and I don't think he can take it themselves. Redist just tanking up the damage, still alive, and now Rainy Day jumps back in for the kill. This cockroach is so damn annoying, and it's just going to be a clean 4-for-0 for the side of the Emus, and it is just nasty what they did there. Cassante even gets played top. This means it's going to be Dragon over 8-0 at just 11 minutes. This is looking like the perfect game for the Emus.
Oh no, it's a disaster for the CRT. Looks like they wanted to go for a realm warp play onto the Jinx, onto the Alistar, but Alistar just headbutts them away, and they're just walking out. And great response coming in here.
Redist is in position as well, as we see the flash headbutt pulverize. Dane is doing decent damage as we see the trample gets the stun. Dane, can he get that second stun? I don't know if he needs it. Well, he lands it anyway into another kill. 3 kills. Killing spree onto Slimy, who is just, you know, has to go to the bathroom after that one because he's getting flushed. 0-4 on this Rise is not a good look so far.
Not looking too good here for the Rise. I mean, the failed rail warp play in the bot lane, and then overcommitment from Bleathen trying to TP in to salvage the play and not able to get anything back in return. So, and then the icing on top on the cake was the second dragon going in favor of Emus of Destiny. So a lot of good things on the side of Emus or EOD, but nothing going well for CRT. So they'll just it's going to be really hard. I mean, this Kha'Zix has that Umbral Glaive going to like snuff out a lot of the vision that CRT is going to put down, and I mean, I think they're going to have to try something with Bleathen here. I mean, Xin Zhao's here, but Kha'Zix as well.
Is here. Q3 misses, but so is Rainy Day as the wind becomes lightning hits, and they have to back off because they see the bug. As we see the Crescent Guard in, it's the knockback from the Pathmaker. Iconic taken low. I don't think this will be any kills for either team, but that bug, it's a scary one. As we see Redis jump in with the headbutt pulls. Zap hits, but it's pretty decently traded back. But now the public execution, Slimy is here on the rise. Can he get enough damage? He can. Gets the root on Rainy Day. Do they have the flash to follow? It's going to be the flash out from the Kha'Zix to keep him alive. That would have been a big shutdown if it went over. So nice return play. The Rise finally able to do something in this game to bring it back for 1 kill on the side of CRT.
Yeah, but unfortunately in the mid lane, Dane was still pushing waves and is going to get that under tower. So yeah, like I think you pointed it out, unfortunately they would have loved that shutdown onto the Kha'Zix, but I mean they'll still take a kill onto the K'Sante. Hopefully, you know, getting Bleathen and getting Iconic back into this game. But right now it looks like they're looking for play onto bot lane, but both the CRT bot lane has back, so nothing to be had there. But yeah, so not too bad. I mean, I love the proactivity coming in from Slimy, recognizing that there's still a play to be made in the top lane. Rainy and Thon on this Kha'Zix and K'Sante kind of overstaying a little bit on that top side.
But isolated here, gets jumped on by Rainy Day. Can he get the Rune Prison? He gets it with the phase rush. Can he run away? But the Super Mega Death, no, he follows into it! Slimy P-Hand is gonna want to take that flash back. Unfortunately, they get flushed by the Super Mega Death Rocket, and Engine snipes him. I don't even think it was gonna hit until he flashed, which is just absolutely tragic from the Rise, who's already having a bad game.
Oh no, that's a disaster. I mean, it's this showcasing exactly what's gonna happen with this Kha'Zix on this Umbral Glaive. He'll just walk into your jungle and just wait for you to you know, not carefully walk into your jungle. So I mean,
we see the zap go in. Redis gets the stun onto the spell shield time not too well, as we see the Breath of Life invested, so that's an ulti invested for just Redis.
Zel's coming top here.
Oh, we see the gank top. Iconic misses the wind becomes light, and the TP is coming in. Can they get the knock up? The Pathmaker into the all out, takes him across the wall. Can they fight this? Iconic has enough damage maybe, but gets the Crescent Guard. Oh, into the public execution is very nice flash from Thandong. Doesn't get him away from anything. Now Marin trying to clear the wave as he gets flooded back in. Flashes away. Can they get out? Engine is firing with the bullets. There's not enough protection, but Engine's going to go down to the heated up turret for a big shutdown to the Sivir. It's actually not a bad play. You know, it was a 3-man play for a 1-for-1. So, you know, a bit of aggression from the side of Emus gets stopped by CRT, who trade back a shutdown on the Jinx. So, you know, not the worst case scenario. They do claw back the gold lead just a little bit from that turnaround.
Yeah, not too... pretty well played there from Marin. Dancing around the turret. I mean, I think they also got a little bit lucky with Redes accidentally headbutting them away from the Kha'Zix that just jumped in, so no isolation damage for the Kha'Zix instantly, and be able to flash around barrier and to survive a little bit. But here comes I saw a Super Mega Death Rocket, but I don't think it did anything. But yeah, so very well played on the side of Marin. Gets that shutdown onto the Jinx, and unfortunately for Jinx, I mean, Alistar with an ultimate is going to tank a lot of damage, but as soon as that, with the tower ramping damage nowadays, as soon as that gets swapped to somebody else, they're going to take a huge chunk of damage. So unfortunately, Jinx gets 2-shot by the tower, but at the end of the day, 1 kill going onto the Sivir, but the big shutdown, like you were saying, onto the Jinx is going to be pretty big. So still a big, about 4.3k gold deficit on the side.
Actually going in favor of Bleathen on the Ambessa, but can't go anymore as they get knocked into the turret by the Pathmaker, but decent trading from them. Eclipse finished means they're very powerful against the K'Sante, who hasn't finished first item, but this is going to be third drag.
Dragon fight here.
Yeah, being contested here by the side of both teams. CRT trying to find a way in. Emus have multiple members, and, you know, the TP's not up, so Bleathen does have the TP, so maybe they could turn this around in a 4v5.
I think Thun still has his TP from Roll Quest, I believe. If I remember correctly, that's what that icon on the bottom of his icon means. So I think both teams
in, and Bessa is ready. They have the public execution, but they're going to 1v4. They're running away. They have the shield. This could be the chance for them to finish this. CRT need to be decisive. What they're doing, making Rainy Day looking forward. Dane trying to throw out the Glacial Storm, but they're too scared to go in without the Cassante. They don't really have the front line outside of the Alistar. See the stun onto Slimy P. Hence the smite does not go in the way of CRT. It's actually going over to Iconic as we see the objective bounty claimed. Redis now tanking so many members. Called the hunt to get the chase down. Public execution onto the Jinx is big. Engine flashes away, but it's not going to be enough as they go down. Shut down. Goes over to Slimy Behans. Now, Fandong's the only one left. Can he get the all-out angle? He drags the Xinjiao across the wall. Iconic's taking so much damage. The Pathmaker to escape. Leafton, can he chase for more? No, the heated up turret's going to be enough to deter the follow-up kills, but a nice turnaround from the side of CRT. They secure the dragon, stopping the stacking, and they win the follow-up fight by killing the Kazakhs first. They finally stomp the bug. They get Engine even after he burns the flash. This Alistar could not peel, and they turn back around, turning the gold lead to only 1K when it was about 5K previously. A nice fight from them to maybe bring it back in this game.
Yeah, great play. Oh, great team fight there. Team fight win there for CRT, getting, getting the dragon objective bounty, and then getting pretty much three or four kills onto EOD members. And I have to criticize. EOD there. I mean, I'm pretty sure Cassante has their teleport available with that role quest.
Oh no, Olusona just gets jumped on by the bug. Wait, cancel from the flash as you see Rainy Day try to go in. Mega fire kick. I don't think it's going to be enough because Rainy Day just walks up on him for one more. Tastes their fear. Olusono goes down. Unfortunate for the Milia, who had to face check for the vision.
Yeah, so even though the goal difference is only 1 point something K at this point, this Kazakhs is still really strong against squishy members, and this Emilio is the definition of squishy. So gets caught out in trying to put down some wards. So good play there from Rainy Day, but I still have to criticize that dragon fight. I mean, I don't think
Slimy Beef Hands going for a quick trade. This is how usually the Rise Anivia matchup goes until later levels, but, the Anivia is able to walk it off. Rift Herald being started, and I don't think it can be contested by the side of CRT, so Emu's going to pick that one up for free.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, I like that they're still playing on the map, getting the Rift Herald in their favor, so hopefully they can get that to crack open a side lane for either Dane or Thon on that top side or bot. And so far, I mean, even though they did have a disastrous dragon fight, I mean, they're still in the driver's seat for this game, still have plenty of damage, still have plenty of gold, but do have to be a little more careful going into team fights, especially with that Kazakhs. Can't be jumping in there trying to get a steal when the rest of your team, or especially your only other frontline. I guess no, not Kazakhs is frontline, but I just have to criticize that trying to go for a dragon steal in that situation. But everything's going to be okay, I think, so right now for CRT. I think we're just going to look at some wave clear for a few minutes, not really have much to fight over except for a Baron, but I doubt both teams are going to look for an early Baron play right now.
Yeah, I think that'd be a bit too risky because, that gold lead did kind of get shored up from that mistaken fight on the side of the Emus. One thing I do want to talk about, if we have time there, is that Slimy P-Hands, I want to talk about the itemization. They went for Dark Seal, which is kind of insane after going 0-5. But the other thing was that, it was a while before they got the tier 2 boots, which I think is why Dane was able to bully them out so much, because the Anivia just gets the slows and you can't run away. But now Olusono getting isolated again. You cannot walk into this jungle unless you want to get eaten by the bugs. This killer cockroach is just terrorizing the little kid in the jungle as Olusono goes down again. Another ISO death from Rainy Day, as now Rainy Day and Redis looking for more.
They're looking for Slimy here.
Slimy Behands is isolated. He gets
good
out of
flash.
the headbutt pulverized. Nice flash there. But it's still going to be tier 1 turret going down. There's nothing traded else on the map for the side of CRT. So still, I mean, the proactivity from Emus is showing, the strength of this this team, I guess. This, isn't just taking the straight up 5v5, which we saw them lose earlier. This is them being very smart with their rotations and playing around their jungler.
Yeah, this is really, really good play. Yeah, like you're saying, really good play on the side of Emus, that to play with their jungler, go walk together into the jungle to catch anybody out, and at the end of the day get good vision. I mean, look at that red side jungle for the side of EOD. They have vision all around the red side jungle, but I mean, I would love to see them walk into the blue side, get some visions just so that they can maybe threaten a Baron. But right now, nothing going on. I mean, I think Olo needs to be a little needs to be a little more careful when going to ward. Probably, grab a buddy to walk together there. But looks like they're going for.
Oh wait, are they really going for this? They're going for that Baron for Dragon trade, so this would be soul point for the side of the Emus, but Crouters looking for the 3-man Baron. Wait, it gets spotted by the Super Mega Death Rock, but I don't think anyone is in range to counter. Thandong has to flash away. Public execution is perfect as you see the Pathmaker gets dodged. Lethan, beautiful play for the solo kill, sidesteps everything and makes the winning play for the top side, but unfortunately they just don't have enough damage for this Baron. They have to peel off it. That's Dragon Soul point over to the side of Emus, and what was like a pretty brilliant macro play off of the top side pressure gets captured as we see Iconic looking for here. Dane does a ton of damage to the Sivir. Indy's just gonna rocket them down as Olusono dying again to the Kha'Zix. Barely Marin gets out with the flash, but now Iconic isolated here. Has to probably invest the ultimate, but will still go down to it. Headbutt from the Alistar takes him down, and now Engine is activated on this Jinx. Gets excited, 2 stacks on it. Has the Hex Optics for the damage. Marin getting so close to death as we see the rocket splash over to them. There's not enough wave clear without this Sivir. I don't think Ryze can walk up really, as it's going to be Lethan, the only person trying to clear waves here. They managed to stop the push, but that's still Iconic going down, tier 2 turret going down, and a failed Baron play means that they have less options in this game. It's looking a bit of, a mess for the Crouters right now.
Wow, I mean, I really thought that CRT had an opportunity there for Baron. I think they just pulled off as soon as the dragon went down. Just probably didn't have enough damage as Sivir wasn't there the entire time. So quite unfortunate that it didn't work out. But I think they were correct there that they did have an opportunity to take the Baron while EOD was on Dragon. So I love the look. I mean, even Ethan getting a huge solo kill in the side lane, hopefully unlocking themselves in the side lane, forcing Thon to be a little more respectful in this side lane. So glimpses of positive things for the side of CRT, but I mean they have a huge task in order ahead of them as EOD is on soul point. So probably gonna look to try and shore up this side lane on the side of EOD, get Thon in a good spot, but I don't think, yeah, it looks like they're just posturing right now, trying to catch some waves, get some vision, prevent another Baron sneak from happening on the side of CRT.
Yeah, it seems like they're going to play it a bit neutral. I mean, I do respect that decision from the side of Emus. They don't want to overforce their hand like they did before. If they wait until Dragon Soul, it's going to be all good for the win con. Now we're getting dive here as they go for the turret first. Thandong, this is the first Q. Olumu here for the support, but the public execution onto one. But I don't think Lethan can get out of this. Rainy Day jumps on him, but he gets the flash out of Lethan, so it barely gets out. Nice play from Lethan to actually avoid dying to that dive. But look on the other side of the map, they can't really do anything. There's no cross-map play as we see Super Mega Death Rocket go in the mid lane. That's just the tier 1. It's not that much gold at this point. And now, Realm Warp out of Slimy to get out of the Kha'Zix's range. But now Lethan behind the base tech is going to get jumped on. Can they win this team fight? As it's big damage from Lethan before he dies. Iconic in the background with the pressing card, but the TP comes out from Dane as it's a 2v1 in the backside. K'Sante is just zoning, and now the Jinx is activated. Slimy trying to turn this around with the burst. Can they get the kill? They do manage to get it, but they still die in the process. It's a 3-for-1 on the side of the Emus. They win the fight, only losing their 80 carry, which was not the person with the shutdown, which is the key member, and multiple members go down. Lethan did a great play there, chunking out so many members, but the Ryze was just not in range because they used the Realm Warp earlier, and Marin was getting zoned off by the K'Sante, which they could not kill.
Yeah, but crucially, Engine going down there means that EOD doesn't have damage for Baron, so I mean, Slimy kind of saving the play, catching this Jinx out from in melee range and blowing them up with only 2 items. So so far, I mean, I would have thought that play ends up netting Baron for the side of EOD, but Jinx going down means no Baron for the side of EOD. But I mean, 3 kills for 1. I mean, you'll take that trade any day of the week. So. Oh
no, Marin getting jumped on by the bug again. Rainy Day just hits him 1 Q, a second Q, and just eviscerates the Sivir through the barrier. Damn, Kha'Zix is looking very balanced this patch, and I'm not the only one complaining because Marin goes down, and that's a pretty long death timer. That is the lack of wave clear without the Sivir. Can get, make sure they don't lose, more turrets here. I think they're going to be fine, but this is 30 seconds before the Dragon. Setup is going to go over to the side of the Emus.
Yeah, too many people dying in isolation in the jungle to this Kha'Zix. I mean, you have to start at some point start respecting that Kha'Zix could be in your jungle and could absolutely destroy you with that isolation damage. So a few kills onto Alonso, or a few deaths onto Alonso, trying to get wards, and then I think Marin trying to get the Raptors, get some more gold in their pocket, not really expecting the Kha'Zix to be there. So great, pressure coming in for Rainy Day, probably gonna net them the soul for the
iconic walks in, face check, gets full comboed. Chain CC, they pop the Crescent Guard for the nice knockback. They flash up with Fandong, hits him with the Pathmaker. The Ocean Drake is secured. The Pathmaker, the All Out goes in, but they still end up dying. Fandong, actually no, they survive. Public execution in the backline. Marin already died to the Kha'Zix, and Fandong's healing from that Ocean Soul. The Rise finally makes it to the party.
Here's
But
Rainy.
huge the pulverize on it too. Mean the team fight is just unwinnable. Rainy Day taking over. Red S with the beautiful headbutt combo, and it's a quadra kill for the Cockroach. Rainy Day picks up the ace. Just an immaculate team fight from the side of Emus to kite it back out, makes it so that Cassante doesn't even die there, and they're going to end the game here, do you think?
Yeah, I think that's going to be GG here on the side of EOD. Great team fight there, recognizing that, playing with the vision, recognizing that Shinzao has to walk into Fog and catching them out. Almost not able to kill him, but at the end of the day, that Ocean Soul too much for the side of CRT to overcome in the team fight, and it's just going to be a clean win for EOD today.
Clean win indeed, and I think Marin wants to give the Cockroach another bite as they see diving the fountain, not really disrespect needed, but Engine just rocking them down for another kill, padding the KDA. Rainy Day jumping in for some fun, and game one in a dominating fashion goes over to the Emus of Destiny, who are looking very strong in this game. Just a great play from, the entire team to get ahead. 0 deaths on the Anivia. Egg not even cracked a single time. That is exactly what you want to see out of, Dane, who's on off roll. Just an amazing game from them. A bit more run back needed from CRT. Arrow, any thoughts about what we just saw there?
I mean, overall, what a very clean game on the side of Emus of Death. I mean, they had a great early game, having this Kha'Zix run around, just a bunch of solo kills on the side of Anivia, getting, Dane propelling themselves ahead in this game. So it was a very clean game. The only criticism I have is that third dragon fight on when they try to go for a steal, almost throwing the entire game. I mean, the gold difference was 5K at some point, and then it went down to, I think we had 1,000 gold at some point between the two. But at the end of the day, it was Rainy Day just spending time in the enemy jungle, just catching everybody out. I mean, it was a pick onto this Melio in the jungle warding. It was another pick onto the Melio, and then it was Marin at the end of the game getting caught out, trying to get more on those trying to get Raptors, and then at the end of the day, it led to them getting the soul, getting that crucial team fight at the end of the game, and netting them the win there.
Yeah, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like it was just a bit of a, mid-jungle gap in this first game. I mean, Rainy Day with the Kha'Zix counterpick, we didn't really see it impact that much early, but once they got 1 or 2 kills, it just felt like this bug was just everywhere on the map. 19 KDA, yeah. And Dane, shout outs to them for being off-roll and on a champion that I don't think is super hard, or super easy, to pilot. Winning that early game against the Rise, getting a solo kill, forcing out key summoners for the repeat ganks on the Rise was so key, because Anivia shouldn't be winning so early. And, that change in the matchup changed, I think, the entire, structure of the game.
Yeah, for sure. And I think because of how one-sided that mid lane was, it ended up, overturning what the supposed power that Sivir and Melio would have in that bot lane to get prio onto those dragons. So I think because Anivia got so strong in mid lane, there's just too much threat for CRT to try and pressure getting early dragon stacking. So then that netted EOD 2 early dragons, gave him control of the game, and then allowed Kha'Zix to just kind of run the map as as the game progressed. So really great game from really great game from both the mid jungle duo here for Rainy Day and Dane. I think you're absolutely correct that it was a big jungle mid gap here for this game. So we'll have to see if CRT can pick it up in the second game, or change up their draft strategy, because this Rise and this Shinzao did not perform at the level that we probably expected them to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the mid jungle is so key. I mean, everybody makes the joke that it's bot lane that decides everything, but I think jungle is still a pretty good role. There's a reason they didn't buff it in this new season. I think we're gonna jump to a quick break. Just as we get into the draft for game two. For all of our viewers, thanks again for tuning in to the first stream. We're gonna jump shortly, but yeah, get hyped and share your predictions for the rest of this match, and how game two will go. Arrow and I will be back very soon with the draft for game two. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to week 4 of the Risen Team Builder Bamis League, as it's Emus of Destiny taking a dominating win over Crouters in Game 1. Can Crouters bring it back in Game 2? It's going to be me, Kevin Dunker, play-by-play caster, and Aerostion on color to take you through that to see how this game turns out as we jump straight into the draft.
Yep. I mean, game one, pretty clean game on the side of Emos of Destiny. I think they had one slip up out of the dragon fight, but that's about it. I mean, it was a complete domination on the side of EOD. So we'll have to see what Crouters can come up with to try and negate some of the advantages that EOD got. And I mean, mainly it was that mid lane. Dane on that Anivia absolutely running the game. Getting a huge advantage over Slimy and just snowballing it into a big team win from this on the side of EOD. So far, I mean, I think there's a few draft changes. I mean, Shen being banned here is, I think, a different look on the side of Crouters. So I think that it looks like they're going to be targeting that Nautilus, which is going to be targeted at Redest on that support for the EOD. And so far, I mean, same bands on the side of Emus of Destiny, and Crouters trying to target a few more different champions in this for Emus of Destiny. So right now, I mean, J4 is available for actually, sorry, I have to correct myself. J4 would be for the side of Dane, but Dane isn't the jungler. So I have to remember. My notes are very different right now. So
No, totally fair.
yes, it looks like they're looking at a top lane pick or top lane blind pick for the side of Emus. Okay, so there's gonna be the Ornn lock in here for Thandong. So probably our token, tank top laner in the league. So no surprises there. So we'll have to see what Bleathen wants to pick to counter this Ornn.
Yeah, I mean, Ornn is just like a pretty good standard blind pick. I mean, it's a tank top.
Yeah.
It doesn't have many bad matchups unless you are just a god on Cannon and Rumble, which I think are pretty, not pro jail, but quite difficult champions to play and need a pretty specific team comp. But yeah, I like the Ornn. Great blind. EOD know what they want in draft and reliable engage. As we're going to see CRT pick up the Lulu, early
Yeah.
investment of the support in draft compared to last game where, support did get left to last pick and it was a very, pinched pool, I think, with those draft resources being invested in, a bunch of bans in the second round, as we see Victor being locked in here for CRT. Pretty standard. I'd say Control Mage doesn't have that many bad matchups unless, EOD went go crazy and pick like a Zed, just to jump on this immobile mage. I as a Victor guy, I hate that matchup so much. It's unplayable.
Gotcha. But
Yeah.
I mean, if Dane is a Zed player, then maybe this is the opportunity. I mean, but it looks like they're going to be hovering this Galio. Not, yeah, the anti mage mid laner or champion right now. So I'm not too surprised there. I think Galio will probably struggle with the poke that Victor is going to output in the early games. But at some point, this Galio is going to be unkillable for this Victor. And this Victor, I think you're correct. Victor doesn't have a lot of bad matches, but if you look on the side of EOD, they have Ornn and have the Galio to kind of punch through, and now a bunch of karma shielding. This Victor is gonna have to be super fed in order to punch through some of the beefy members on the side of EOD. So I'll be interested to see what CRT can kind of pair this Victor with. Maybe I know Marin does have a love for Yunara and Aphelios, but we'll have to. I think Yunara probably more likely to be better with this Lulu pairing, but it's going to be Aatrox, and they're going to save a carry pick for the second rotation.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. We talked about this a little bit before Arrow in the last draft, but it's interesting that they, see the Ornn. Or sorry, they didn't use like the R5 counter pick so in the
Yeah.
first game. So I like that they're using it now. The blind
Mhm.
Victor is great. I would have honestly liked to see them early pick like an AD carry and then ban out the opposing ones because Lulu works so well with stuff like you said, like
Mhm.
the Yunara and the Aphelios. Like if they pick
Yeah.
that here and then ban out the opposing AD carries that they don't want to play against, you still have a counter pick for your top lane. And then they're kind of forced to take like a suboptimal matchup in
Yeah.
the bot lane, right? So unless they have something else, but it's going
Right.
to be Diana banned, and I think this is a Mundo ban for EOD. Yeah, it's just likely just going to be junglers focused around here, and
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but Xin Zhao. You said Jarvan's still on the table, which I think would be really good against
Yeah.
Victor and whatever a mobile AD carry they have likely to pair up with the Lulu. But
Mhm.
with that top side, Ornn, Galio, Jarvan, they might not have enough damage in the game unless they have a really pumping AD carry, which I think is
Right.
something that EOD have to consider when they finish out this team comp.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so the reason I mean, I do like that they're utilizing this Aatrox as a counter pick. I mean, I think some of the notes that I was thinking about is like they probably needed an AD top laner if they didn't pick this Aatrox and they picked an AD here, then all of a sudden EOD probably ban out the last two, or I mean either Darius, Renekton, or Aatrox onto the side of this Bleathen. So then now they're left with one of those AD options that maybe they're not as comfortable with. But I think Aatrox is one of their most played. Wukong is one of the last junglers available here. So um, on the side of CRT Crouters, I would have loved to see a more AP champion. But uh, I mean, at the same time, Galio is the anti AP champion, so maybe Yu Wukong is better into that Galio matchup, of course. But I think. Uh, I think if they did go for a double AP threat, it would be less pressure on the Victor to kind of carry. But I actually the more I think about it, the more I'm talking myself out of it. I think this is fine. I mean, stacking more armor is going to mean that this Victor is going to be able to punch through this Ornn a little bit easier because there's going to be less MR on the other team. But as the Locks picks are coming in, Zeri going to be and Shyvana being hovered here. I haven't seen this one in a while, but the hover is pretty exciting, and it's gonna be locked in here. So, I mean, when was the last time you seen a Shyvana, Kevin?
Okay, to be totally honest with you, I don't like Shyvana as a pick, to be honest.
Okay.
Just to lock in, CRT did pick the Yunara, so the Yunara Lulu, like you were
Okay.
mentioning, Arrow is
Yeah.
just a super strong combo. But I
Yeah.
did see a Shyvana in one of the other leagues I cast, and it did
Oh,
go
okay.
kind of crazy with that Leandri Spear of Shojin build. Like it's kind of a
Okay.
disgusting amount of damage, especially if you play around the dragon stacking. You get a lot of like bonus resistances, and you don't have to buy them, and you have so much
Sure.
health from these two items that you do, tons of damage with the fireball. You can still do a lot of damage with the auto attacks, and it's pretty nasty. But I'm not sure how you feel about the current, draft, and I'll pass it over to you in a second, Arrow. But I'm kind of favoring CRT because they have such a good, straightforward team comp to play around. I
Yeah.
think EOD, you're pretty much praying for the Ornn ulti to hit someone. Same with the Shyvana,
Yeah.
and if they're ever behind, I don't think they have the necessary wave clear to, kind of get back into things versus something
No.
like Yunara Victor that can just wipe away the waves with the the laser and the orbs respectively. And Aatrox, Wukong is just a really strong top side against something like Ornn, Galio, Shyvana, which I think CRT really have to leverage. Once Wukong gets level 6, once Aatrox gets level 9 or that break point, and you can really start bullying the enemy champions, they have a
Mhm.
really strong top side that they can play around, and they have really strong scaling with the Victor Yunara into the late game. Yeah, I like their team comp a lot more this time, but yeah, passing it off to you to share your thoughts.
I mean, I think I have to agree with you. Crowder's comp is pretty has a lot of good tools. I mean, I have to agree. They do have a very strong top side of the map, but I feel like we're repeating ourselves from game one. I think we both agreed that Crowders did have a strong top side of the map, but then it was this rise that collapsed in mid lane. So all of a sudden that top side became too weak to deal with anything. So I mean, I have to agree with you, but I mean, I'm still cautiously optimistic that I mean, there's going to be a lot more pressure on Slimy to not get ran over in mid lane, quite frankly. So in their defense, this game they do have a Galio. Galio is not going to be as oppressive as this Anivia with that slow moving Q and that stun and everything. But I mean, Galio still has ton of gank setup, ton of kill threat, but Shyvana is probably not going to have a lot of gank pressure until level 6 when they can, Dragon's Descent onto you. So we'll have to see how this game goes. I do really like Emus of Death's comp because they have the Ornn, they have the Galio, and they also technically have a Shyvana to just be that beefy frontline for this Zeri to just have their Zeri moment and pop off onto the side of CRT. And CRT, I mean, yes, they have a Wukong ultimate, but that's about it on the side of CC. Aatrox Q knockups are conditional on him hitting that sweet spot, hitting all of that they need. But I kind of like the idea of Zeri just popping off and skating around the team fight and not really, pretty much, I would imagine, going untouched. So we'll have to see how this draft plays out in the game. So whenever you're ready, Kevin, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, great drafts from both teams here. I'm pretty excited to see because, I think the Victor's a bit more safe than the Rise. You can laser away from long range and not have to put yourself as much risk. And Galio, unless he goes for a pretty aggressive build, I don't think Dane will have the same level of kill pressure, without putting themselves at risk as well. And the Shyvana Wukong matchup, I mean, they're both kind of farm until 6 champions, which I think Wukong is very happy to do. Once they hit level 6, I'd much prefer having Wukong to gank for me than a Shyvana, right? Just kind of banking on hitting that ultimate in a good angle. But yeah, I mean, that's the final thoughts from me. I think we're going to toss it over to a quick break between draft and game 2. So let's see if CRT can bring it back against the Emus of Destiny, or if the Emus of Destiny are destined to make it to playoffs by beating this opponent this week. So yeah, for everyone watching, thanks again for tuning in, and we'll be back very shortly after the break. Hello, fans of Risen Esports. We are back. It's Arrow Steon on color and Kevin Dunk on play-by-play as we jump straight into Game 2 for Week 4 between the Emus of Destiny and Crouters, as both teams feeling the tension already, some trading on the top side, bot laners walking up maybe for some damage. They are excited to get this series going. I think that Crouters want this run back, and Emus are happy to put them in the dirt at that challenge.
For sure, and again, not much going to happen in level 1. I think on the side of CRT, Marin getting that ward into that middle bush, so nothing too spicy so far. I mean, I imagine this bot lane isn't going to be super spicy. The two double range bot lanes not going to have too much kill threat on either side unless there's a massive misstep or jungle pressure comes in. But on the side of for both junglers, again, pathing to the top side. Kind of unsurprising. They're not too much. I imagine this early game is going to be very similar to how game 1 went. Not going to be too much action in the mid lane, apart from a random solo kill in the mid lane, of course. But I think you mentioned it. Dane on this Galio won't have as much kill threat like that Anivia without some jungle help. So I do want to point out Bleathen is getting a deep ward into the blue side of EOD, so they'll be able to spot out Shyvana when they are on their blue buff and their Gromp. So a little more extra map knowledge, and I do believe that Iconic on this Wukong is on a faster clear timer, so Wukong will be able to gank a little bit quicker for the side of CRT.
Yeah, and so far so good. Slimy P-Hands getting knocked up, but like I said before, as a person who used to main both Galio and Victor, it's a bit of a wet noodle fight until both of them get at least like maybe 2 items. I mean, it's hard for both of them to kill. Worst Victor skin probably. Just a shout out to Human Victor or whatever the heck that skin is now as Redis. Looking for some trades, but getting chucked down to about half as, wet noodle fight continues in the mid. I mean, Dane is just kind of trading his health bar for the mana pool of the Victor. But Bleathen was one of the highlights last game, and I want to hear your thoughts, Arrow, while it's still kind of in this lull period. If they can kind of turn it around, because, they had a great game on the Ambassador on another kind of like carry champion top lane, and the early game is going much, much better for the side of Crouters. So hopefully they can leverage that. We saw some flashes of brilliance in the team fights.
Oh, I think they're about to catch out Shyvana here.
Oh my god, yeah, they're going to get him. Bleathen is here with the prio, gets the first knockup with the Q2, misses the gets the Q2, flashed away from, but that's a flash force out from the Shyvana, and Iconic, I think, is going to be able to take top side and bot side scuttle if they're fast enough. So, yeah, nice call it to attention for that Arrow, as we see that top lane prio already paying off for Bleathen here.
Yeah, I think that top lane prio paying off, getting that early ward to spot out the Shyvana backing after they cleared out.
Bandong has to dash up.
Bot lane.
Bottom side, taking very low. Olusonu flashed up the last second. I think that's like single-digit health bar on that. Lulu invested the flash and the heal both, as on the bot side it was just the heal for the side of Redis. So very nice plays from this side of this Karma Zeri, which I think they're very happy to be ahead in this Enchanter hyper carry matchup. And yeah, so far it looks like the Wukong's having a great time. They're gonna have to get to level 6 because I think the bot lane needs the help, Arrow.
Wait, Wukong getting the top side scuttle, but then not getting the bot side scuttle, so then they only got one. And I assume Rainy Day is probably assuming that Iconic did get both scuttles, so that bot side scuttle is still available. But going back to the top lane, I mean, yeah, so Bleathen utilizing that top lane priority, getting that early ward onto the Gromp and the blue buff, getting vision onto Rainy Days as they're clearing it, and catching them out as they're backing, forcing them to burn flash. And it should have netted Iconic the double scuttle, but he's going back to a full clear, so that second scuttle crab is still alive. So both, I mean, I don't blame Rainy Day for assuming that Iconic should be getting this scuttle, but I mean, Iconic just opting not to go for that double scuttle there. But they'll still be ahead on the path, ahead in pathing, I believe. But Rainy Day gonna walk over, see the scuttle. So Rainy Day, technically at the end of the day, no big advantage granted for the side of CRT, even with that top lane priority. And it looks like they're gonna get scuttle and probably the dragon on the side of EOD.
Oh, wait, the level 6 power spike in to call the Forge God. Bleathen still has flash. They're gonna have to do it earlier rather than later. They flash out, they get stunned. Oh, the steering charge hits the pillar, but now
doesn't matter.
With the Bellows Breath.
Oh, here's Iconic.
Over to the Ornn, but Iconic is here for the follow-up. Can they get
Wait,
the kill?
where's
I don't think they can. They're just gonna walk out, and Thandong hits that level 6 power spike. We talked about how good it was for the Wukong to get that advantage on Shyvana, but we didn't talk about the EXP that Aatrox lost, and that led to now this solo kill from Thandong after hitting level 6 faster than their lane opponent.
Oh no, oh no, I think because Iconic on this Wukong didn't get the second scuttle crab on the bot side, they didn't hit level 6 off of the camp, and then getting into that counter gank there on the side of Iconic, they just didn't have the damage without that cyclone. So unfortunate event coming on, a little bit of gank here in the mid lane, but it's just Redust on this Karma poking out this Victor. But yeah, it's quite an unfortunate play. The big advantage that they kind of built for themselves from the laning phase, kind of just going down the toilet there for Bleathen. So quite unfortunate here for the side of CRT. And I think you posed me that question earlier of like, what can CRT bounce back? That's not a good move.
With the taunt, Shyvana ults in, Slippery PM flash away from it.
Oh,
wow,
misses.
Fireball actually misses there. I'm surprised. Arcane Storm invested for a bit of a poke back, so just gonna be flash for ulti traded in the mid lane. But now Thandong bullying out this Aatrox, who's down a little bit, gets the Infernal Chains, but it doesn't pull back. Bleathen, can they hit more of the sweet spots? They get the first one, they get the second. Can they get the third? They actually do big damage. They're gonna pop the World Ender, and Thandong doesn't have flash to get up. They have the potion ticking. They try to go for the Searing Charge knockup. They cannot get it in time, and the World Ender ends Thandong for a trade back on the solo Bolo. But now Slimy Behands on the repeat tank has no flash. The Dragon Form still up. They're just gonna be walking up, and a chomp from the Dragon. Slimy Behands at the mercy of the jungler once again. You know, between game 1 and game 2, I guess not much changes. So that's going to be, a wave pushed in. Slippery Behands had the ghost but didn't use it and doesn't have TV to get back, so they're going to lose a plate here and lose quite a big wave.
Yeah, not looking too good for Slimy here on the Victor. Great gank setup there from Dane to set up for Rainy with that fireball, but not. I mean, it's looking a lot like game 1 right now. Oh,
wait, Iconic fighting back on the Shyvana, who doesn't have ulti, but they're kind of losing out on this. Cyclone activated, but they have to spin away. It's just the item gap. I think the Shyvana with the pickaxe just does more damage than the Wukong at this point, and the bonus resistances from the Dragon means they get out. And the Wukong, who should be winning this early game, is actually
Bleathen's hunting right now.
A bit low. Yeah, Bleathen maybe looking for the Shyvana. I don't think they spotted them though. As we see here, maybe baiting around the Scuttle Crab. Slimy Behands does have Prio. As we see the Rift Grubs started by Rainy Day and Thandong, but now Bleathen going in for some poke. I'm getting a bit of interference here, so it's lagging a little bit, but now, some trading going back and forth. Now the Galio
big
is
Forge
in lane.
God.
The Forge God is going to knock up multiple members into the double taunt, into the Dragon's Descent. Iconic tries to help his team out, but they're too late. Bleathen just barely makes it out with that dash over the wall, but I think the control over the Grubs is solely in the grasp of the Emus, as you're going to see here. Yeah, they're just going to secure this easily, and that's just more pressure for the side in the side lanes, for Emus when they get to that point.
Yeah, what season is it? I mean, it looks like we have supports roaming for Void Grubs. Wow. I mean, this season, I think teams have placed less priority onto the Void Grubs because it did get nerfed in the new season, but clearly, these two teams not wanting to let either side get the Void Grubs, so sending up their supports, going for a little bit of a skirmish there. Great dash out there from Bleathen, surviving the initial burst, but
Baron caught here by the tether, rooted up. Engine doing big damage to them. Marin's gonna have to flash here. They jump out with the ultimate, so good investment of that to get out. But yeah, that's still a key cooldown used for the Yunara, who's already down about a wave and a half of farm. And it's going to be Zeri going for the scaling item of the Yuntal, so will be very dangerous in that late game.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if Engine ulted there, that should have been a kill onto Marin, especially since they got rooted from the Karma W. So a little bit, just probably not really knowing where Alonso Sonu on this Lulu or Iconic on the Wukong. So maybe just a little more respect on the side of Engine, but I feel like that could have been a kill there, but who knows what knowledge they had and what knowledge I didn't have. So
Honestly, I think you're right, Arrow. I think Lightning Crash does big damage early game, especially on a squishy Yunara. So yeah, you're probably right. I mean, that would have been a kill. So missed opportunity there.
Yeah, either a kill or at least just burn the flash on the Yunara. So I mean, yeah, missed opportunity, but I mean, I think they're gonna have that Lightning Crash for this dragon fight if there is gonna be one to happen. So Dane does have prior on this bot lane, and they still have Hero's entrance. So everything pretty much up for both sides of both teams. So if they want to have a big fight over it, there's a chance for it right here.
Yeah, going to foster over it. Iconic looking for the blast cone, but Dane is here, very tanky.
Oh no,
doesn't
he's
have first item. But now the TP coming out. Iconic has to see this. They have to get out. They're just going
it's a
forward,
5v5.
I guess it's the Bleathen goes there. The teleport in, it's a 5v5. The Wild Growth Rainy Day taken low. Engine popping the Lightning Crash is taken low as well. Now Bleathen walking with the World Ender. The Arcane Storm doing big damage, but now the Hero's entrance with the shield. A flash over to get the kill on the Zeri. The World Ender extended. Vandong getting kited out by Marin. Dash in with the knockup. The Galio trying to taunt up Bleathen. It's just on a rampage. They get the Q1 and the Q2. They can't get the Q3 before they die, but it's going to be the team fight being won by CRT as Marin runs him down. Great kiting from this Yunara. Olusono backing him up, and that means the team fight, the Ace, the Dragon, going over to CRT is so big for them as they're slipping. They're losing their grasp in this early game. And they make a huge team fight to bring it back.
Wow, what a great team fight there for CRT, splitting members of EOD, and Bleathen getting the kill onto Engine is crucial there, because without Engine there's not a lot of damage on the side of EOD. I think Galio has their tank item, but will get AP later, but has not enough damage for that fight, and then Rainy Day not fed enough to have that second item. Or I mean, it would be very impressive if they had that second item, but just Shojin is not going to be enough damage there on the side of EOD. So getting the kill on Zeri is crucial for that team fight victory. So kudos to Bleathen for catching out that Zeri, getting the full combo on them, and securing that team fight win. And at the end of the day, Marin, untouched in the backline, gets a triple kill and just seals the deal, gets their second dragon gets the first dragon for the side of Crouters.
I mean, that's big. I mean, in the scaling game, whoever has the most dragons has the pressure, right? And, like you said, Arrow, it was just beautiful team fighting. I mean, it was a bit of chaos, but I think the chaos is exactly what you need against something as structured as an Ornn Galio, right? They just kind of send something at you, and it's good. But, Slimy P-Hands was able to, throw it poke. Iconic went in and dipped out, not trying to overcommit. And then Bleathen was kind of untouched. They were firing on him to try to kill him, but he just had so much healing after killing the Zeri for the reset. And like you said, Marin did a great job keeping the distance. I think they're getting zoned out, but they kited so well against Thandon's Ornn. They brought them the Ornn down before they could die. So now Marin on that first item with the Blade of the Rune King, Power Spike. Not a ton of gold differential, I believe, between them and the Zeri, but I mean, 3 kills is a lot. They have the completed Zerkers while Zeri doesn't, and this Blade is an earlier Power Spike than the Yuntal is. I think they need to leverage this advantage while they have it.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. I mean, I think I like the Blade of the Rune King pickup here for the side of Zeri. I know that's not usually their first buy. I think it's usually Kraken Slayer, but with Ornn having a lot of HP, with Shyvana eventually going to get a lot of HP, and of course Galio having a lot of HP, I think this Bork is going to have a lot of value. But
the gank, maybe? Iconic's waiting in the wings. Thandong taking some punishment from Bleathen, who has the Black Cleaver, which is so good against the Ornn because, he just stacks it so quickly for the Armor Shred. As we see the Searing Charge in, I don't know if Iconic's going to go for it. Thandong's trying to hold the wave, but Bleathen can just heal off of this Ornn, who doesn't have any anti-heal. Big damage onto them. Will they go for the dive?
Now they're in dive range.
Too sure. I think they're going for it. Iconic's going for it. Call of the Forge God is available. Searing Charge out. I think Iconic's going to keep him off the wave, but this is going to be the first turret over to CRT. Big money for the Aatrox, who is already so far ahead of the Ornn.
Yeah, I mean, I do have to wonder though. There's a big CS gap, but I think the 3 kills and then the full tower probably getting a big advantage onto the Aatrox. So Aatrox pretty well ahead right now. I think this is going to be the driving force in this game. So hopefully they can try and single out Zeri in future team fights like we noted before. 1,000 gold deficit in the top lane. So looking good for this Aatrox so far. But on the side of Yunara having a huge gold deficit as well.
Oh,
so,
wait, Marin didn't have vision in the bush. Is going to get rooted up, taking big damage. Engine gets polymorph, but the wild growth in return. Engine doesn't have the fully stacked Unitol. They're losing this fight, but no, they win it actually somehow, some way. You'd think they'd be winning it, but I think the bonus.
Iconic here.
Enough, but now Flash into the Cyclone, into the Crushing Blow. Is it enough? Iconic, do you have the damage? They do. Redis now using the Empowered Tether for the healing. Iconic has to back out, or they would get rooted, but a nice 2v2 kill for the side of Engine, and Redis gets 2 for just the 1 traded back on the Wukong. I'm not really sure how they lost that with that Blade of the Rune King. You think it's a harder spike than the fully, non-stacked Yunitol. But yeah, Marin, I guess having that Ghost and not kiting it out versus Engine with the barrier means that they lose out on that fight. And yeah, I mean, just good fighting from the side of Emus to, win that bot lane 2v2.
Yeah, I think it's just combat summer spells.
Oh,
they're looking for a dive here.
Call the Fort God, flash away from Slimy P-Hands. It's a 3-man dive on this. Victor, play safe mid. You can't really do that when the whole team's running you down. Now Marin looking for
run.
Shyvana gets the slow with that movement speed buff. Can they get the kill? Rainy Day, 1 auto from death. They do go down. Now Hero's entrance getting ran away from, but they still get knocked up. Marin getting flashed on from the tether, but now Bleethen is here. Olusono is getting taunted up. Now Iconic healing up big, and it's going to be the Aatrox again, ending the world of the Emus. As we see Bleethen still going forward, looking for the Q2. Can they get the Q3 for the big damage? They do get it. Healing up so much. Marin is healing up off the wave. Olusono takes a big turret shot as it's going to be the end of the play there, but it's still a 3-for-1 on the side of CRT, turning that fight around because Bleethen is so damn strong and all of the cooldowns were burned on this Victor.
Yeah, I mean, I love the play there onto the Victor, but on the escape, it was CRT punishing the play, catching out Rainy Day, and I think it was EOD trying to get their jungler out of dodge there, but and unfortunately everybody overcommits onto the play, thinking they caught out the Yunara, thinking they caught out the Lulu, but it was Bleethen on the side coming in to save the play and getting a bunch of kills onto EOD. So I think at the end of the day, it's going to be Dragon number 2 for CRT as their prize. So great play there for CRT. Even though their mid laner tried to play a little bit safe, got dove, but they burnt 3 ultimates, and in the ensuing fight, was just an easy team fight win for the side of CRT.
Yeah, I mean, the fight goes in the favor of CRT, and again, Marin is going to be ahead of their lane opponent, likely going to finish that, the Runon's Hurricane, but I'm surprised Engine's already at 2 items. I guess they just have more gold from the plates being farmed on top side, or bot side. The gold lead is not that significant, but like you said, second Dragon is going in the favor of CRT. And, their late game is just monstrous, right? The Aatrox is going to do so much work in those team fights once they hit 2 items. And Slimy P-Hands is going to eventually scale up. I mean, there still is an angle for Emus, don't get me wrong, but it seems like they're running out of damage at this point because Rainy Day not able to stack up the dragons, has to get in very close range, which is great for the Wukong and the Aatrox and the Yunara, but now I gotta stop talking. Bleethen getting jumped on. Over the wall is the Shyvana who drags them back. Bleethen going to likely Humble Dash over the wall, but they pop the World Ender. They want to fight this.
The damage,
they get knocked up by the Call of the Fort God. There's not enough healing. No, they dash out last second, and they flash to make it out of the Winds of War, so it's going to be Flash from the Shyvana, Flash from the Aatrox, in what looked like a dicey situation for both parties, but that does mean that extra member supporting on the top side means bot lane turret goes down for the side of Emus, and now Engine is very far ahead with that gold lead, or sorry, with the minion farm being about, how many waves is that, like 4 waves ahead with a 30 CS lead, but now Iconic looking for this bot lane duo. They go into the back line, get the double knockup. Wild Growth is invested as this Engine guy is very tanky, but now Marin jumping in with the ulti. Cultivation fully stacked. They're blasting down Redis, who used the shields already for the Zeri. The laser catches Engine as we see Marin trying to run him down. They do have the move speed from the Lulu, from the Conmay steps, and they're just going to run down the Zeri for that double kill. A nice collapse from the Yunara, knowing that all the key cooldowns are used. They just absolutely run it down on Engine and Redis, which is exactly what you want to see from the Yunara, going to secure 2 kills and this bot lane turret.
Yeah, they catch out the Zeri before they can go back to base and get their buy. But I think the reason why Zeri was up maybe 1 item is that Bork is not a cheap item. I think they had to getting that first item it was very expensive, and it delayed a lot of their other items. But I mean, at the end of the day, Yunara getting 2 kills is going to propel them even further ahead. So I mean, I imagine that the gold lead is either in favor of Yunara or even at the very best. Oh my god, wait, that's a huge gold deficit in the bot lane.
Yeah, after those 2 kills on the bot side and the solo turret. Oh, it actually wasn't solo turret, but yeah, that's, what is that, 2.5k? Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, that's like almost a whole item.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. The other thing that we probably might have missed is that Yunara probably also finished their boots compared to Zeri not finishing their boots. So that's a couple gold difference there. But yeah, I mean, Yunara is super fed right now, and that's not even, we're not even mentioning Bleathen on the Aatrox, who took on 3 members of EOD and survived. So
wait, now the collapse on the Victor. Redis is in position, and I think this is just game over for Slimy Peahan. Can they get out? They pop the ghost. They managed to get out of the tether, but the fireball, just like Street Fighter, is just going to take him down for the KO. Rainy Day has a lot of damage here. I mean, they're not super tanky, but with the Leandries and the Shojin means they just absolutely blast, and the setup from Thandong was good. I mean, the Karma just for the insurance. Nice pick on the top side. It feels like Slimy Peahan is not having the series they want, because, they've been slimy, but, their hands are not getting on anyone because they're, just a 0-3 right now. Looking to maybe scale for the late game. Yeah,
their hands have been washed clearly. So it's not looking too good for Slimy, but I mean, I think he's just a good pick onto EOD, punishing the side lane pressure there. And I think Rainy Day on the Shyvana is getting stronger. I mean, they just they finished their Leandries a little bit ago. So hopefully they'll be the second damage threat coming in here for Emus of Destiny, and taking a little bit of pressure off of this Zeri to carry this game. But at the end of the day, it's still Marin on this Yunara, blasting everybody in terms of gold. Like the next highest gold leader in the game is Rainy Day on the Shyvana, but it looks like there's a trade here.
Okay, Iconic looking to get some poke before this dragon setup. I mean, now that we have the gold, Aatrox is actually not that far ahead. They do finish second item on parity with the Ornn, but yeah, most of the gold lead, it's only about 400 gold, is in the hands of the Yunara. As we see here, they're going to start it. This is going to be third drag. If they can secure this is his soul point. Slimy Peahan's getting dangerously close with the laser. They're poking and prodding. I don't know if they should get that close, and now Yunara is ready. As we see, call the Forge God, but now Red is getting chunked out by the Arcane Storm. Rainy Day jumps in and gets them here, but they're gonna die for it. As we see now, the team fight is going in favor. Marin's just blasting. As we see the Zeri get Polymorph, the flash over to get the kill on the Zeri. The Karma goes down. It's going to be a double kill for the side of Yunara, was just absolutely pumping. The flash Polymorph from Olu Sonu is so big as they get it on the Zeri, who thought they could pop off in that team fight. 3 items for Yunara means that it's just absolute domination. It's a 5-0 on the side of Emu. Yes, they lost the dragon, but they means they get so many kills, a 3.5k gold lead, and this Baron buff.
Yeah, big team fight win there for the side of Crouters. I mean, crucially, Yunara got their 3rd item, got that Lord Dominic's regards right before the team fight, so they were a whole item ahead of the of Engine on this Zeri. So absolutely untouched in the backline, shredded through everybody, and then I mean, unfortunately, Rainy Day gets the smite in the dragon, so no soul point for the side of Crouters, but they'll take a clean ace on the side of Crouters, and then and the Baron as well. So huge gold swing for the side of Crouters, and I think this game is looking really, really good, despite the early game looking a little bad. I mean, I think Marin picking up the slack, Iconic having a much better game on this Wukong, and then Bleathen on this Aatrox, just absolutely unkillable. So much healing, no one able to deal enough damage to cut through the healing, and I don't think there's any heal cut either on the side of Emus of Death yet. So this Aatrox is sneaky tanky just with all the healing, and then at the end of the day, it's Marin just absolutely shredding through everybody with their huge item advantage that they got.
Yeah, and the item advantage is so huge, right? Like third item on the Yunara against these high health targets, right? Vandong has, some good armor, but the Shyvana has nothing. The Galio has nothing in terms of armor, right? So you can just blast through these targets, and Bleathen has the armor shred for them as well. So Marin's pretty much doing true damage to these frontliners, and Marin now almost at the IE, you'd think. That's going to be massive. The Blade of the Rune King plus the bonus crit is massive. Oh, Engine already chunked low. Bleathen looking for the angle on the Ornn. Oh my god, Redis takes 2 auto attacks and almost dies. A third one almost kills him as Rainy Day trying to get the solo bolo on the Victor, but I think, the Victor's just happy to play interference. He's just running around. Means that this Shyvana cannot contribute to the team fight, because I think the Victor is a lot less useful than the Shyvana. They're doing their job, being annoying. They're on 2 items. They're going to be effective no matter what at this point. As we see the Seed in mid lane turret, I think it's going to go over to the side of the CRT as Crouter getting taunted, but Bleathen, nice disengage. Marin going for the auto attack, and yeah, that tier 2 turret going down. Wow, the Aatrox through decent damage with the flash in for the knockup. Q3 doesn't hit anything. Oh, actually, it hits Redis, just barely in range of that, but it is the flash invested for the flash for Engine. That is so big because Bleathen has the dashes to get out, has the advantage, and it's really only Engine who's a threat to the late game team fights. So flash for flash traded very in the favor of CRT for this late game.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, a very aggressive play there from Bleathen. I think feeling himself a little bit there, but not too much coming out of the play. But at the end of the day, they do get that mid lane tower. Not able to crack open the base quite yet for the side of Crouters, but not too bad. I think they'll take the gold that they got and propel themselves forward. IE finished here on the side of Marin, and meanwhile Engine on this Zeri is still looking for their third item. So as long as Crouters can keep this Yunara alive for any team fight, it should be just an easy win for the side of Crouters, with Marin being so far ahead and having 75% crit with that IE now. So everything looking up for Crouters. I mean, they're probably going to be looking for this next dragon on the board, but looks like they're just going to clear some vision, get that vision set up for the next dragon, and manage their waves.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 4 items on this Yunara. 75% crit chance. Big damage. Oh, the cancel in the searing charge. This might be big as Iconic jumps over the wall with the decoy. Q3 doesn't hit, but the laser slows a little bit. Dandong taken low. Gets knocked up again. Second knockup. Can the third knockup hit? It's not going to hit, but Vandong is now chunked out before this dragon is maybe going to have to TP, depending on the timing on this Marin. It's just Thanos at this point with 4 of the 5. Actually, there's 6 Infinity Stones. So, you can get a full 6-item build now in this new season, Arrow. So, I mean, I'm not too far off from it because Marin is absolutely, terrifying. We saw 3 autos almost killed Redis, and now on the top side, it looks like Shyvana's just going to go for this dragon, or sorry, go for this top lane turret. They're not going to care about third dragon. They're going to wait, for that 4th dragon fight because, they did stall it out one more, but now this 2v1 on the top side. Bleathen is trying to 2v1 Rainy Day and Dane, but can they get enough healing to get 1 heal from the... Oh my god, they jumped back in though. They got the heal from that Deathbringer stance, but did not get enough healing because they didn't hit any Qs, and Rainy Day going to take this spot, or top lane tier 2 for more gold is going to be big for the Shyvana, who scales so well with golden items. A bit of a misplay from Bleathen to dash back into that. Maybe if they hit enough Qs, they could have turned the 2v1 around, but they didn't have the World Ender activated soon enough.
Oh, a pause coming in here. Interesting, but yeah, no, good side lane play, side lane pressure there for Rainy Day, getting the kill onto Bleathen on the Aatrox. But on the other side of the map, I think Iconic did end up getting the 3rd dragon. So Crouters are on Soul Point now. They'll happily trade their top laner, and I think they also got a tower as well for Soul Point. But but yeah, not too bad. But yeah, as we're going into a pause, I think somebody probably DC'd, but nothing that they can't overcome eventually. But yeah. 80 sent to Brazil, yes.
80 cents to Brazil, yeah. Happens sometimes. I mean, hey, Mordekaiser Death Realm was called Brazil for the time being.
That is true, but yeah, they got Mord ulted when Mord isn't even in this game, so very unfortunate. But it looks like the play should resume sometime soon, in 0 seconds, of course. But Yeah, but like if we're just like take a look at the game state right now, nothing. Oh, wait. We have action already.
Yeah, Call the Forge got invested, but it's just the solo Ornn against the solo Victor, stunned by the gravity field, and the hero's entrance actually invested there. So, I mean, like, it's pretty short cooldown now that Galio is level 16, but that's a key cooldown maybe if Crouters want to pull the trigger anytime soon.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think just Thon on the Ornn just shorts the Searing Charge knockup, so the Galio ultimate not able to land there. But I think that was a good look onto the Victor there to potentially get a play. But yeah, just barely shorting out on the knockup and not being able to convert that. But no harm done. Both ultimates are both ultimates should be up in time for Baron. Actually, it might be still shortly on cooldown, but I think unless Crouters take Baron on spawn, I think those cooldowns will be back up in time. So right now, ornaments are coming in on the side of EOD, so some of this gold deficit is going to be negated with just the flat stats that the ornaments do give. But I still think like this 5k gold deficit on the ADs is just too large. I mean, this Yunara is still a whole item up, I think, and Zeri just getting their IE is still going to be down in their armor pen. And even so, I think they're still down on heal cut. I don't know if anybody on the side of Emus of Destiny have heal cut yet. So apart from a Bramble Vest on the Ornn, I mean, this Aatrox is going to go largely untouched in terms of like the damage that they're going to do and the healing that they're going to dish out for this fight.
Yeah, and we're seeing it here, like the range advantage of the Victor is starting to play out. They can laser out Redis, who's already about half HP. Thandong, the laser doesn't do as much to him, but Slippery Behand's, dealing decent damage with that Blighted Jewel. Lethan looking for Dane maybe here. Can he get the Umbral Chains, or sorry, the Infernal Chains? He does get it. I mean, Marin can scout out in that bush. They don't have to go in here. They're just posturing around the Baron. I think if Slimy manages to get more lasers on someone like the Karma, they can just force them out, as it's going to be started on the Baron. This is going to go down very quickly. Yeah. Slimy is just able to poke out the Ornn, who can't commit the engage. As we see on the other side, Rainy trying to walk in, gets lasered, and leave.
Baron's probably low by
trying
now.
to get back in now. The ultimate invested, as we see the Baron goes down, though, as we see Zeri getting big damage on the Aatrox, who has to dash out. Wild Growth invested. Oh my god, Zeri! The Fireball just one-shots the Yunara! Can Lethan turn this around? I don't know if he can. Flashes out to get away. The flash taunt from the Galio.
They got Lethan.
Lethan in range, but now huge cyclone in the backline. A huge cyclone. Can't get the kill on Redis just yet. They finally get it, but Lethan goes down on the other side. Then knock up again. Can Wukong win this? He actually can. He's on 3 items, baby. This Monkey King is taken over. As we see somehow, some way, it's not the players that we thought would win the fight managed to do it. Lethan and Marin go down. That fireball pretty much one-shot the Yunara, who has no resistances. And it's just, I don't even know how that happened. That champion is not okay. But yeah, both Lethan and Marin go down. But on the backside of that fight, the Wukong iconic on the 3-item power spike turns around the fight for the 2v1 in the back as well with the Cyclone, and they probably could have got more if they kept chasing, but they wanted to reset before this dragon. What a crazy turn of events. This is getting a very, very dangerous for both teams here, Arrow.
Yeah, I mean, I think Emus of Death with that Baron shred, they had the 6 key member, the Baron, shredding all the members of Crouters, and I think it was 1 or 2 fireballs from the Shyvana absolutely chunks out and kills this Yunara, so absolutely destroying them with 0 resistances, like you said. But and it nets them the team. It looked like what nets them the team fight win, but on the backside, it was iconic finding the huge cyclone, like you said, and absolutely one-shotting or melting a few members on the side of EOD, and then I think it was Engine looking for the kill, but that just not enough damage. Iconic just bonking them on the head with their staff and getting the kill into Zeri kind of salvages the play. But right now they're posturing for Dragon, but I think that Victor's laser kind of gave it away.
Yeah, I mean, they give up vision on the Dragon. The TP invested from Thandong. Lethan does have TP as well in response that they're getting out of the base. 3 items on the Aatrox, 3 items on the Ornn. Straight Arm's pretty much completed for everyone except for the mid laner here for Slimy P Hands as well. Iconic very deep for the knock-up. They're going aggression as we see the ulti in from Rainy Day, who's getting chunked out by the Yunara already. Marin is here. He's just blasting it, dashes it aggressively as Dane has to jump in for the disengage. Marin invests in the ult that doesn't have a very short cooldown. As we see here, the poke being traded, the fireball for the laser goes in the favor of the Shyvana, but now Rainy Day is, I think, too low to contest.
Oh, the poke.
Fireball chunks out another two, but Iconic is still very healthy. Marin has lifesteal. Olusono really only needs to be here for shield as long as they don't die. But now Call for Ford got invested. The knock-up actually hitting 3 members as we see Bleeding trying to zone up the back line. Can they get out? He's not charged onto 2 as Marin trying to get out as the wild growth is big. Can they get the dragon? No, it's secured by the Shyvana. Now Bleeding is taken over the backline. Engine is still firing. They get barely in range of the health. It's crazy. Marin is still alive though. He's full HP. Can he get the chase down? He gets the slow with the fidget spinner, the flash out from Thandong. Olusonu wants the speed up, but somehow, some way, Shyvana gets the steal. I think Iconic went down first, and they could not get the smite secure. In some miracle fashion, Engine lived on single-digit HP. They got out of range of the H-Shock, surviving there again in what was just a criminal move, I think, from the side of CRT, and the game continues as Engine going for a very risky point. There's multiple members here, man. What are you doing?
I don't know about this one, but I mean, he's gonna die. Kill goes over to Marin, but oh my goodness, what a game we got going on here. This back and forth. It started with that Baron and it goes all the way to the Dragon, and now both teams are on soul point. I mean, both AD carries were untouched in that last fight, and Engine did work, but Marin was largely untouched and still shredding through everybody. Even with the lack of ultimate, they still do a lot of damage with this on this Yunara, and they're about to get their 6th item of the game. So I don't know where to go with this. It's like as the game is going on, this gold difference between the AD carries is going to matter less and less. I mean, Marin's still ahead, but like at
5K gold difference still.
Yeah, if Marin's still ahead, but if this game keeps going the way it is, like this Zeri is going to catch back up and deal enough damage. They're still down a whole item, of course, but eventually Marin's going to cap out. That's just the reality of it all. So eventually this Yunara will not get stronger, but right now EOD did find the crucial fight, and they did get the soul. So this next dragon fight is probably the game decider. You know, who gets the soul, and not only the soul, but like the Hextech soul, one of the best souls of the game. So it's gonna be it's gonna come down. This game's gonna come down to this next dragon fight in 3 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. It is the best soul in the game, I think, Arrow, in my opinion. I mean, the chain lightning off a single Shyvana bolt will mean the follow-ups are going to be so much easier. It's so dangerous because I think Iconic just got a bit too feisty. They went for a solo Cyclone on the Karma, who's not that important of a target. I think they need to hit someone more valuable than that. Yeah. As you see Bleathen looking to fight Thandong here. I mean, it's it's kind of weird that they kind of ended up in a wet noodle fight. I don't think they have kill pressure on each other as long as they play it properly. I mean, Bleathen can't really get the kill on Thandong. I don't think can kill him either. But yeah, the side lane is going pretty good. I mean, it's just heal versus, this guy heals back up. Yeah. But, I mean, the posturing over this Baron is very aggressive. Look at this top side as the vision game is being started here. Marin clearing out wards, the laser to scout. Good. I think Slimy P-Hands and Marin just can't stack up on a single pixel and get fireballed. I mean, Slimy P-Hands takes a little bit of damage from that, but I think Rainy Day using that dragon form early means they won't have the fireball for the Baron fight, which is now up. As we see
looking for more.
Iconic investing the Cyclone on just the Shyvana. Can they get the catch? As we see the Blast Cone sending 2 members back. Iconic flashes out to get away from just the Galio and the Karma. The Zeri wasn't actually even there to take the fight, so Flash invested is a big tool for the Wukong, means they have less target access, but now Rainy Day has no Dragon form for the Empowered Fireball, which is also big because they have to get it back by hitting things, and I don't know if they can do that before the Baron.
Yeah, crucially though, Iconic's not going to have Flash Cyclone either. So I mean, both junglers burning big ultimate, big key cooldowns right before the Baron. So that's going to definitely. and Iconics
Ultra
chunked
Shock
out as well.
Laser.
So it's gonna. I mean, Iconic on this Wukong not having their key ultimate is gonna definitely affect this next team fight. But we'll have to see what. Oh, look, Dame's looking for more.
The Flash Taunt, flash out from Slimy Hands. As you see, Bleathen doing big damage. The Arcane Storm invested on just the Galio. I don't think that's the greatest use of that ultimate, as, you know, people are just trading key cooldowns left and right. They're so nervous. I mean, hell, I'm even sweating at this game, Arrow, as both teams are on the edge of, you know, either bringing it to game 3 or losing the series entirely. Baron is still up. Dragon Soul is going to be 40 seconds, and it's just going to be started. They know they have the timers. Can they burn this down in time?
Crouters reset for some reason, and now like Iconic's coming back on the map. They do have Cyclone, but they're gonna have to space check it.
They have the Cyclone or Decoy to get over the wall, but they're not gonna go for it.
No!
It goes down too fast. Rainy Day invested the ultimate to get it. As we see now, Dragon is up in 20 seconds. It's a full reset from the side of Emus. Can they reset fast enough to get to the Dragon? The TP already invested by the Ornn. They have to burn this down instantly, or else it's going to be at risk for steal from the Shyvana. Can they do it fast enough? The TP also from the Galio, the Hex Gates means they reset faster. They have to kill it right now, or it's going to be a flip.
Oh man, this is going to be a big team fight.
Gravity Field for the slow.
Oh
Marin runs away, but they don't have enough DPS on it. It's going to be the steal. Maybe. No, it's not risked by the Wukong, but a huge searing charge in the backline. The hero's entrance as well. Galio just barely alive here. Cyclone invested, but Marin blasts him down. The GA popped from the Wukong, and a huge splash in from Bleathen as they get the Ornn. Now they're going for the kills on the backline. Red is taken low. Engine taken low. Engine is firing, but I don't think he can go fast enough. Can he get the kill? He gets one. Can he get another? No, he goes down to the Aatrox, and it's going to be a valiant effort from Engine Zeri with the lightning crash, but in the end it is the Hextech Dragon's Lightning that wins the fight for the side of CRT as they march towards the base. What an insane team fight. It looked like it could go any way, but only Iconic goes down, and it's going to be an ace for the side of CRT, likely going to bring us to game 3 here.
Yeah, what a great team fight win there for CRT. It looks so close there at the end. Engine almost having enough damage to shred through everybody, but it's Bleathen with this on this Aatrox healing so much damage, not going down. And Marin again also untouched, shredding through everybody on the side of EOD. So it's going to be a game 2 win. It's going to push us to game 3.
What an insane match. We thought it was in the face of CRT. You know, we thought they had it in the bag, but team fight after team fight looked so dicey. The Shyvana did big damage, but in the end, it is Bleathen who starts off the game strong. He'll end it strong to win that last team fight. CRT are going to bring it back for this night. It's going to be game 3 in our league tonight. Arrow, I'm hyped after seeing that, and I'm sure you are too. Wow, what a game to bring us to game 3.
Yeah, it's just the absolute masterclass of just team fighting between these two teams. I mean, I so many good things happened in those last in those last 5 minutes. I think both teams taking questionable resets there right before the Baron, netting the Baron for EOD, but then the EOD reset themselves, and then CRT pounce on the opportunity to get their soul, and then it just ended up being the key to that last team fight. On top of Marin not getting going, Marin not getting touched in that last team fight, shredding through everybody, and then Bleathen surviving most of the Zeri damage, getting onto the Zeri, killing the Zeri, and then it was just a great team fight and just a perfect execution of these of what CRT drafted for this comp.
I mean, perfect execution indeed in those team fights. I mean, Bleathen was so huge on the Aatrox. We thought Marin and Yunara would just kind of run over the game at a certain point after 3 items because of how dominant they were in that one team fight around, I think it was second drag or maybe third drag. And it was just, you'd think that Yunara after 3 items was just run over this team with, armor shred on the Aatrox. They have the blade for the tanky members. But it was somehow Rainy Day keeping them in the game with the fireball. The Baron shred, like you said, Arrow, was the 6th member. And we couldn't even react to it. I'm not sure how Marin could have. The fireball just one-shot him from that Baron shred. And that meant the game kept going to, a max amount of dragons, to multiple Barons. And wow, what an exciting game. These teams, showing us what they can really do when they're firing on all cylinders. And I'm just so excited to see what they have in store for us for game 3.
Yeah, both of these teams are fighting for position in this playoff race. So I think both teams like trying their absolute hardest to win each of these games. And kudos to Emus of Destiny to like staying in that game. At some point, it was Crouters with a pretty big gold lead in that game. I mean, you noted it as that Yunara being so far ahead of the Zeri, but I have to give a shout out to Engine, even though they were down a bunch of levels, they were dishing out like almost equal damage to this Yunara. I mean, they were down a whole item, but then they were only, like 61 damage off from the Yunara for the most in damage in the game. So kudos to Emus for staying in the trying to fight their way back, find avenues back into the game. They did, but it was just one crucial decision backing before the bear or the soul point drag or the soul dragon getting there late, losing out on the soul, and then just getting absolutely blasted in that last team fight, just netted them the loss. And then Crouters just uh what a bounce back, honestly. I mean, we still saw Slimy struggling in that mid lane, but I think even though they did struggle, they stayed in the game. They were in the right spots that they needed to be. And then Iconic running around, you know getting kills onto everybody. And then Bleathen absolutely running top lane, getting so far ahead, catching out Zeri in key moments in team fights, netting them team fight wins. And then of course Marin, the rock that just shredded through everybody. So I mean, just overall great game on the side of Crouters. And I'm really excited for what game 3 is going to have, because these drafts have been looking super clean for both sides. I mean, each team drafting things that they seem to be comfortable on, and then now, I mean, everything's out the door. So let's see what game 3 has in store for us.
Yeah, next one is for all of the marbles as we see Crouters take it back from the Emus of Destiny for game 3. We're going to jump to a quick break, for us to get ready into the draft of our final game of the night. So for everyone watching, we hope you're having as much fun watching as we are casting and as the players are playing. I mean, I'm sweating after watching that one. I'm not even playing. Emus of Destiny and Crouters game 3 will be back very soon. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll be back after the break. Hey, hey, fans of the Risen Esports League. It is Arrow, Steon, and Kevin Dunk back with Team Builders Bamis Week 4. We're at 1-1. Crouters coming in hot with a game 2 that made us all sweat and made us all worry, but they managed to end the game nonetheless. I mean, the only thing that matters at the end of the day is that the Nexus explodes. And, in explosion-wise, this, series has been explosive. Emus of Destiny almost had a Zeri moment to make it come back. We're going to jump straight into the draft for game 3 here, as it's been an exciting night so far.
Yeah, what a great series that we have on our hands. I mean, both of these teams are vying for playoff spots. I mean, I think with how the draft or with how the groups are going, that they might. I don't want to call it because anything could happen, of course. But both of these teams are vying for playoff spots and, of course, seeding into the playoffs. So this match does have has stakes, and they will potentially they may potentially meet up in playoffs as well, depending on how the brackets do shape up. But something to note with this game coming up is that there will be a sub in the mid lane for the side of Emus of Destiny. It will be the original mid laner Govna Brown replacing Dane Bramage in the mid lane. So we'll have to take a look at the draft adaptation here for the side of CRT. And I mean, this Vel'Koz band is targeted at Govna, Govna being that billion mastery point Vel'Koz. So no surprises there. And I think because of the mid series, because of the mid series substitution for the side of EOD, they do have to take a ban. They do have to lose a ban in draft for this sub. So if you're seeing the blank icon there, that's because of that rule of this league. So Talia going to be banned out once again for the side of EOD, targeted at Slimy. Being that 2.8 million mastery on Talia, so no surprises there still. But Thresh being banned is targeted towards Redest, one of their better champions, and I think it's just generally a hard lane to match up into, and takes away some of the opportunities that an immobile carry can be saved with a lantern, of course. So 2 support bans for Redest, and then we'll see what EOD want to ban here in the last rotation. Probably one of the Nico or the Nami. So it will be the Nami, and that leaves up the Nico that's been banned the entire series for the side of CRT, and we'll see if they want to first pick it here. But no, it's going to be the Ahri here for Slimy. That is still in their champion pool. They have plenty of games, a lot of mastery on it. So Mel being hovered here. I mean, I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think last patch or even this patch, they gutted the hell out of this champion. So I'm not sure about this one.
Yeah, you're completely right on that, Arrow. As I'm a bit confused at what's kind of going on here, because
it is locked in.
Mel did get nerfed hard, but
Yeah.
I mean the Ahri Mel matchup, it's almost unplayable, because like your only kill pressure on the Mel is hitting your charm, and that's the
Right,
only
that's
thing she really has
true.
to spell shield, right? So, but
Right.
Mel is in a pretty bad spot right now just as a champion, and I
Yeah.
think for Emus, their mid laner has been kind of running the show. It was Dane before, but now, like you said, it is their original player, and I think
Yeah.
Slimy has had a bit of a struggle in mid lane, and this confident Mel pick, I think, might be dangerous, assuming they build their team to play around it.
Okay, yeah. That's the other thing when you do pick this Mel. Oh, Nico. Oh my God, locks quick picks coming in here. So yeah, with
Oh,
Mel
by Nico
being
Ari.
Yeah, with Mel being being picked here, now CRT have to, remember like, okay, any champions that we pick in the rest of this draft, if they have a skill shot, it could get reflected back at us. So, I think it's an interesting it's interesting pick here for the side of EOD because it does shape the draft. But I mean, we're looking at the side of CRT. Nico Vi Ari is such a strong combo. I mean, Nico with that giant pop blossom, Vi Ari being one of the premier combinations, very similar to what Talia Vi would do in terms of setting up a charm combo. And if I remember correctly, and this is more rhetorical, but you can't reflect a Vi ultimate to, so that will always go through. So I so far. Leon are going to be locked in here. Means that Amumu will be in the jungle. So I mean, a lot of good picks, here on both sides. I honestly, if I'm EOD, if anybody on CRT can play Silas, I'd be banning that. But I don't know. I don't think CRT has any Silas players, and especially since both the jungle and the mid lane have been picked, I don't think Silas is in the wraps here for CRT. So they're probably going to ban out the AD carries. Marin on the side of CRT did pop off on that Unara, so they're going to ban out the Sivir. They're going to they're going to ban out the Kaisa. They're going to ban out the Ashe for Marin, and we'll have to see what else CRT want to negate for the side of EAD. Poppy, I think, targeted at Thon in the top lane, and I think the last ban that they might want to aim for is a Shen, but they're opting to ban the Misfortune for Engine on on the side, and it's going to be Tristana. Yes, this is one of Engine's most played in their League of Legends career, I guess. So I love the aggression. Tristana Leona is going to provide so much kill threat in that bot lane. So we'll have to see what CRT have to cook up against this bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty interesting. I mean, Leona Tristan, I think, can be very aggressive, but I do worry a little bit about the early game because Nico is such a strong laner. If CRT can pick something, you
Oh,
said the Silas. I mean, like you said, this is the perfect game for a Silas. I mean, outside of the Mel, the Leona Amumu is just so damn powerful for that Silas to steal. Buster shot not bad as well because you're so mobile. You could maybe do some cool, insect combos with the flash ulti. But yeah, I mean, this team comp is just built for finding a pick for the team fight. CRT, looking very dangerous with this comp so far. But I mean, EOD having Engine on the Tristana, that comfort pick is great, but Caitlyn Nico is going to be a very difficult lane to lane against.
yeah, I'm surprised. I think this is a Silas top. Haven't seen that in forever. I mean, Silas is really good in this game. Leona ult and Mumu ult are such good ultimates to steal, and we'll have to see what it gets. Oh, that's just another ultimate that Silas can steal. But I mean, Zahen is very strong right now, and there are uh, I. I don't know if I like that actually because yes, there's Silas, yes, there's Vi for you to hit, but then you look at Nico, you look at Ari, you look at Caitlyn. I don't know how you're ever getting on top of them without burning flashes, burning all your dashes and all of that, right? So I mean, in theory, with Amumu, with Leona, like closing the gap, I mean, it's a hen can be good, but I think you just gave over another big ultimate that Silas can steal. But oh man, like I love the Caitlyn Nico lane. I mean, Caitlyn Nico is going to negate some of the aggression that Tristana and Leona can put out in this lane. So I mean. Game 3 draft, I mean, I love it. And so far, so good. What are your thoughts, Kevin?
I mean, I've played a couple games of Zahen, and I really think this champion, excels in those long, drawn out fights where you can fully stack the passive and just bait out so much damage with the ulti and kind of heal back up and just act as that frontline bruiser, kind of similar to like an Aatrox. But this team from CRT is not looking for short or for long fights, right? You have Caitlyn, Vi, Nico, Ari. Their entire game plan is to, burst a single target, and that target
Yeah.
might be Zahen, right? I mean, it is a lot of
Yeah.
magic damage, triple magic damage team with the Nico, Silas, Ari. They're gonna get a lot of value if you buy Merc Treads. Even good for the Caitlyn traps or like the Caitlyn traps or even the slows. But man, this is like the perfect like pick one champion off comp, which I think Zahen is pretty weak against. But on the other side, right, Amumu is so happy for you to dive into his team that you get a pretty much free ulti. But then on the other side, Zahen's ult, like you said, Amumu's ult, Leona's ult, they're so good for Silas to steal. Zahen's ult, I think, heals you per target that you hit. If Silas steals that and gets like a massive ulti in the team fight, you just absolutely dumpster the team fight, right? And these aren't really long range characters. Tristana and Mel kind of need some time to get to that point. I mean, Mel's range did get nerfed quite a bit on that solar snare. So I think CRT just have a pretty, difficult comp to play against if you're EOD. But the big thing is, if the Mel can get an advantage in the mid lane, she can do so
Mhm.
much to stop the engage of CRT.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just imagining it right now. Like any combination of Nico Pop Blossom plus a Silas Stolen Ultimate of a Mumu or Zahen is just gonna absolutely burst anybody on the side of EOD. So, I mean, there's a lot of combos here to work with. I mean, Vi has two champions that they can work with together. I mean, Vi with Silas. I mean, Vault Breaker into Upscon, Abduct, and everything, and then Charm combos as well. So a lot to like with CRT. They have so much proactivity in the early game, can build leads fairly easy. Because of just all the tools that they have. But again, they also have, that giant Pop Blossom is going to make such a huge difference. So I'm excited to see what CRT can cook up. I mean, EOD, even though they have ultimates, they can still. I mean, there's a reason why these ultimates are so good to steal because they're just so good. So Amumu, Leona, Zahen can pick off people in large groups or even one by one if they wanted to. But I mean, Tristana is going to have so much consistent damage if they go untouched in a fight, and with that rocket booster with that W, if I remember, it's like rocket jump, I think.
Yeah, the
But
rocket
yeah,
jump, you're
yeah.
right.
So but with that rocket jump, they can reposition pretty easily and just like they can go untouched fairly easily in a team fight. But walking up to any of these champions is gonna be really hard for them. So I'm excited for game 3. Are you ready, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I like seeing Zahen as a champion just because I feel like they're very kind of hard to pilot. After the nerfs, it was difficult. I mean, I'm looking at the OP.GG and it seems like Zahen is a pretty good counter into the Silas top, but Silas has so many other great ultimates to steal. And, I think the rest of the team comp is really good at keeping Zahen out and, stopping him from fully stacking the passive. So it's going to be very difficult, I think, for, both of these teams to kind of find a team, or sorry, very difficult for the Zahen team, EOD, to find an angle in the team fights if one of their players gets bursted first. Because, yes, you do have the Amumu Leona, which I think is great lockdown, but CRT can kind of reverse that too with the Pop Blossom. It's kind of interesting, right? Because both teams have such devastating wombo combos if they can hit it. But if you engage first, you're kind of putting yourself at risk of the wombo combo in the
Right.
counter engage. So seeing something like that I think it's going to be a very interesting match for game 3 here, Arrow.
For sure, and that of course depends on like if you engage first and you don't blow up the enemy team, then the counter engage is going to come back twice as hard, right? So, if you shoot your shot, you better not freaking miss. I mean, if both teams have the tools to hit their key abilities and blow each other up, but again, I do have to take a look at. I do have to ask about this Mel. I mean, this Mel doesn't have very many things to reflect that are super key. I mean, you don't want to reflect the Silas E. You don't really want to. I mean, you can't. Actually, you probably should reflect a charm. You should reflect, a Nico E. You should reflect, Caitlyn headshots or ultimates. But you do have to remember with the changes to Mel. Mel now takes damage. She's no longer invulnerable while she's in W. So any big Caitlyn headshot might be enough to chunk a Mel even through a reflect. But I mean, Caitlyn probably is going to take just as much damage in that situation as well. So we'll have to see what these teams can pull out as we're going into as we're getting ready for the game.
Yep, I mean, just if this game is just as exciting as the last one with these two team comps, I think it's going to be absolute cinema for both sides. So for everyone watching, you better tune in, after the break that we jump to very shortly, because this is going to be a banger. From all the viewers that hopefully came from Risen Stream too, because I've heard that series is now over. Thank you for joining us in what is, an exciting best of 3 so far, and I'm sure we'll continue to deliver. Arrow, any final thoughts before we jump to a quick break?
Well, there's no Mayo to talk about for smites, so I mean, either way, I hope both junglers have good smites, and may the best team win.
Absolutely. May the best team win, because this game is for all the marbles tonight. CRT, the Crouters, versus EOD, the Emus of Destiny, taking it to game 3 of tonight, the last game of tonight for both streams. We'll be also having a post-game interview with the winners. So for everyone watching, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back very soon after the break. Hello, fans of Risen Esports. We are back at it. Bamis Team Builder for week 4. Oh my god, do I already have to stop talking as we see some trading in the bot side? Maybe not.
Oh,
Trading
more
on the
trading top
side.
lane.
Aggressive. Abscon abduct Thandon looking for some damage back maybe with that craft and the Q auto. But yeah, oh my god, these teams are just even more excited than I am here, Arrow, as we jump into Game 3 this season. Part of it will be decided here by this best of 3. This series decided here as we see both teams back in it. Govna now the mid laner for the side of Emus, is finally back in the game, being able to, I think, sub in or make it to this game. So big for this team if they can, make the difference as, Slimy Peahens has not had a great series so far. Maybe we'll turn it around against this new opponent.
Yeah, I mean, I think because I think Slimy's probably happy that he's not playing against Dane, and Dane probably maybe had their number, but we'll have to see what Govna can pull out with this Mel. In this matchup, it's not going to be as volatile as the Anivia, as the Gallia, both having easy gank setups in a sense, also easy kill threats. But with Mel, it's going to be a little bit more of a slow burn and a little bit more of a whittled down. But even right now, they're taking some heavy trades. So
Thandon getting turret aggro actually with that Oriate rush. Big damage traded over from Lethan, who hits most of the passive from the Petricite burst. As we see, like we said, bottom lane just suffering. Tristana very weak early against the Caitlyn. The double range is just absolutely tanking them. As we see Thandon actually dodge the Abscon. Yeah, the Ignite as well. Thandon looking for more, but it's going to be flash away from Lethan to make sure they don't die there. Well, I think the Zahen counterpick is actually working out really well against the Sylas as forced out a lane already, up a lot of farm, but on this bot side, the counter pick that Caitlyn against the Leona Tristana is just messing them up. Marin just firing on all cylinders, blasting them with the Peacemaker for the damage.
Yeah, this bot lane is going to be super rough early on before Engine and Greetben and
oh my god, the back almost got canceled there, but no, Arrow, please continue.
Yeah, I mean, Tristana, Leona, both probably not going to be having a good time until level 3 when they can maybe try and look for trades back, but they can't be getting poked out like this. Otherwise, it's just going to be such a one-sided matchup for the side of CRT. So, pretty good early game. I mean, Caitlyn got the Cole and is going to get a refill potion. I don't think you need both. You just needed one or the other. But I mean, getting both is going to give them so much sustain that I don't think they need. But in this situation, you'll take whatever you can get. Ooh, reflect.
Oh my gosh, the rebuttal was so big. Govna just stunting on him, dodging the charm without the shield. That is a nice play from them. But I see here the recall being channeled by the Vi. Okay, I maybe thought that was going to be like a recall, wait for them to walk up and then gank, but going to be a full reset from the two junglers as we see now in the bot lane. Pretty, one-way farm advantage is not that terrible for the side of Redis and Engine as we see the trap stepped on Redis taking some damage, but a good Eclipse timing means they don't take that much punishment. The wave now pushing in. I think they need to crash this wave or else it's going to be frozen by the Nico Caitlyn. You do not want to be in that position. No, wow, it got held by the clone. That is disgusting.
This is not looking too good, but I mean, I like the ward here coming out from Engine on the tri-bush, making sure that Vi isn't going to be there to do a gank, but I think this wave will eventually get pushed in. It was a pretty neat clone trick there from the side of Olo on the Nico, so
Zenith played in. Nice job. The wave's very thin. The cleanse invested. Nice. The net into the Peacemaker does some big damage into another trap. Rita's taking to about half HP, but I mean, Engine and they can't get the crash in actually. I mean, the Zenith blade was good timing, but now they're getting frozen on. This is looking really rough for Engine and Redis because they can't crash the wave as Lethan looking for a trade here. Thandon getting hit with the Abscon abducted.
No, I don't think he wins this.
Conqueror fully activated, but now the back from the dreaded return. Thandon knows that this Sylas doesn't have flash. Can they get the chase down? I think they can. Oriate rush, but the Kingslayer gets a big heal. The flash into the Q2 gets the kill. First blood for Thandon. That is big for them. They were big on Cassante, a bit quiet on the Ornn, but they roar back in this game 3 with the solo kill on the Zahen counter pick.
Yeah, this counter pick is looking really good. I mean, Sylas was a great champion for the game, but in the laning phase, I mean, he's gotten gutted over the years as a top laner specifically, so it's not looking too good. And of course, with Sylas, you're going to be fighting right into what Zahen wants. He wants you to come fight him. He wants you to, have that extended trade. And in a short burst trade, Sylas maybe wins, but with the way he was playing it, he dashes in and then uses their full combination, but then he have no tools to get out. And as Zahen, you have so many tools to stick onto somebody, so many tools to chase them down. So just well played there on the side of Thon, and this gold lead in the top lane is mounting. I mean, even though this Caitlyn is up, you know,
wait, Engine
man.
jumps away. Nice Zenith for the buffer. Olusonu, though, gets the kill with the blooming burst, as we see Engine trying to trade back, but getting run down by Marin. Iconic, very nice gank. I mean, it was a good effort with the Zenith blade to try to escape, but now Rainy Day, can they look
Rainy
for
Day
on the Nico, who doesn't have anything, dies, uses the ignite even, but the charm misses. Slimy P-hands missing everything, and the Mel is now in position.
Okay,
Mel
whoever
mid-wave prio.
Whichever jungler gets this crab is going to get level 6 first, so it's going to be they're going to contest it.
They missed advantage toss. I don't think Rainy Day can go for it unless they hit the smite. They get charmed up. They take big damage. Marin firing them down with the Peacemaker. And I don't think Govna can do anything, as we see that combo, the Radiant Volley, do nothing. As we see, maybe they can secure this dragon for the level 6, or sorry, the grub for level 6. This second grub is such a key thing in the jungle now. Rainy Day got it. He has the Curse of the Sad Mummy for this next fight, but I think it's going to be Iconic backing off just to take their own camps.
Yeah, unfortunately, because Redas died, there's not enough pressure there, and it was numbers disadvantage for the side of. Actually, no, because wait, no, Rainy Day got the kill on the support, so it was an even fight. But I think both teams opted not to go in. But,
okay, Zenith played onto the Nico, who doesn't have the exhaust anymore. Engine can't really walk up, though. Marin just firing back on the Tristana, who doesn't have the effective range just yet. It is, you know, Olusono and Marin still in control of this lane. You know, still a decent farm lead, but I mean, I think the team of Emus has slowed the bleeding for a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, yes, Tristana is down a lot of gold, but the advantage in mid lane and the advantage top lane are completely offsetting that. And I think even in jungle, there's a big advantage. So I think, yes, Engine and Redes not having a good time, but you just got to press tab, look at your team, see that they're doing well, and just to be like, okay, we just got to, you know, just take some of this pressure and just make sure you don't crack. You know, you can bend but not break.
Wow, this is an aggressive Zenith blade under turret Olusono and just chunking out Engine, who's taken so low. Marin walking up for the auto attacks. They just need the ulti. I don't think they have the mana. The ignite Olusono means Redas gets the kill. As you see, Rainy trying to invade on this buy, but they don't have their mid laner. Iconic is going to take this fight, but Thandong is moving faster than the Silas. Iconic taken low, half HP, trying to run, gets hit with the Curse of the Sad Mummy. The charm hits nothing. The ultimate Grim Deliverance doing big, but a huge Curse of the Sad Mummy doesn't even get the kill. Rainy Day goes down into the cease and desist. Thandong has to run away now from the team as Bleathen looking for the abscond abduct. The Volt Breaker charged up as we see the flash charm is beautiful. Bleathen picks that one up to equal up the kill score in topside, and what was a very ambitious. Oh, wait, Govna. Wait, out of vision. He's just standing there. He's aura farming maybe a little bit as my stream is lagging, but I don't think he can fight this by himself. Yeah, has to back off.
Nico's here.
Nico is here. Yes, the Govna's just going to have to back off here, so grubs are secured. I mean, the follow-up combo doesn't even do that much damage. I think Mel is just in a terrible spot, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, that's just it. I mean, you can't really get much back into the very ambitious invade from Rainy Day without the mid laner means they lose 2 kills top, and a bit of the gold differential is back in the lead of the CRT.
Yeah, the gold lead that they had earlier did get negated with that big play coming in there. I mean, I think Govna was on a back timer there, and Slimy just cleared the wave, so it was just a perfect roam time opportunity for Ari to get to that fight and, you know, sway that team fight. Because I think it was a good idea from Rainy Day. They did have top prio, but I think they just overstayed a little bit, tried to get a little bit too much, and Ari kind of showing up there does kind of turn the fight. But it was also Beethan on this Silas stealing the Curse of the Sad Mummy and creating a lot of pressure there, but they're still not doing really good in a trade right now.
Oh wait, they're going for it though. Jumped in with the abscond. Can they get the abduct? No, I don't think they can, as Rainy Day is here off the grubs. I thought it was secured actually by Iconic, but no,
I think they only got one.
Yeah, they only got one there, but I mean, knowing the grubs got taken means the entire side of CRT is going for the dragon as Bleathen, barely dodges the pullback. This is on a ward. Greedist has an angle for the solar flare. The charm misses, but they're gonna secure it. It's a first drag.
Nico is level 6 now.
Yeah, Nico is level 6 for the pop blossom, and channels it, but can't get it off and just dies. Curse of the Sad Mummy onto Iconic. The Vi is
Engine resets.
stunned up, and it goes down. Engine blows him up with the explosive charge of the flash into the Zenith Blade over the wall.
Follow. Everyone can follow.
Flash into the Golden Eclipse. Govna gets the kill on Caitlyn, as we see trading on the top side.
Oh no!
Zahen gets the ultimate off, but it gets flashed out of Bleethen. Steals the ultimate with the hijack, but he's only going straight down to the dirt, as it's going to be another solo kill for Thandong with that ignite. Just fighting on all sides. I mean, the side of EOD win the fight, they lose the dragon, but I mean, I think I'd be happy with the money for just first drag.
I mean, yes, you lose dragon, but you get so many kills onto the side of EOD. I mean, Charm lands.
Wait, Charm hits, but I don't think Govna has any follow-up, but that is dangerous for the Ahri if you throw that out.
But I think crucially, Govna did finish their first item. They had that Ludens, and then they end up popping this Nico before they can get that pop blossom. So
wait,
one
big didn't reset. He's just taking this fight. He's going for the Silas pull. Oh, barely misses the pull on that dreaded return. Bleethen has the stolen Zahen ult if he wants to fight this. But look at the CS differential. He's down 54.
I'm pretty sure Zahen still wins this.
Player. Yeah, I think Zahen's still gonna win. He has the fully charged passive and the revive. If he wants to keep fighting, this Zahen is a monster in lane right now. Still not taking the reset. Is just going to, like, I think, hold the wave here. So Bleethen has to walk up if he wants to CS.
This Zahen is so far ahead. I mean,
Zenith Blade in, but I don't think this is much. Double Tangle Barbs onto Engine does big damage, actually.
Good Tangle Barbs there, saving the play, preventing Engine from jumping in there, hoping to, pop off there. But yeah, this CS differences in the top lane is insane. I think this is the biggest gap we've seen all series. I mean, a lot of this gold lead is in just CS, and then of course it's still Govna on this Mel, just absolutely blasting this mid lane. Slimy, it's not doing bad. They haven't gotten solo killed, but this.
Rainy now looking for the play with Govna, as we see the pop blossom cast. It hits two, but the Zenith Blade is better. Govna gets the kill, as we see dodge from that snare, but now Govna gets the kill again, as we see the rebuttal actually not doing much. The tower was just heated up so much, and now it's 2 kills for the Vi, who gets the shutdown. Can they get the kill on Rainy Day? They have the fully stacked Conqueror, but the body block on the Vault Breaker is good. Iconic cannot finish the kill, as he's getting kited by the Leona. Redes spacing him out with the autos. Rainy Day just offering them, tempting them in, and Iconic gets a little bit too greedy for the play. Vi goes down. Call it Arcane Season 2, baby, as it's going to be just a crazy dive on the side of EOD, and they don't actually get much return on that, as they, lose 3 members. Or sorry, they lose 2.
I think it ended up being a 2-for-2, but if I remember Arcane very clearly, I don't think Mel and Vi interacted too much, but there's a little bit of interaction there. So the initial play was great. I mean, Governor had a roam timing, roamed down, got the kills with Rainy Day onto the Caitlyn and the Nico there, but it was Iconic on the Vi, saving the play, getting some kills back, trying to get that third one onto the Emumu, but unfortunately not enough damage, and then Redest also body blocking, kiting out, and stopping Iconic from getting onto the Emumu for that last kill. But I mean, overall, it's still positive for the side of EOD. I mean, they still have positioning everywhere. I mean, at the same time, Thon's still popping off in this top lane. The gold, the CS difference is still getting higher and higher. So, and they now have their Triforce. So, in comparison to the Silas, who barely has that Haunting Guys, and I don't know what item they want to get, but it's just not looking good for the Silas. The Silas needs to find a way to get some help in this top lane. But at you get help in the top lane, then your bot lane's gonna suffer, like we just saw there in that previous fight. So right now, it's just EOD in full control of this game and from the get-go, and because of just the pressure that's mounting in the top lane.
Pressure mounting indeed. That is 70 farm lead. The Triforce completed, like you said, Arrow. Thandong can just walk in for trades whenever he wants, tanks the turret, but I don't even think he cares. As Olusono getting jumped on by Rainy Day, who dodges the Tangle Barbs. He jumps back in. It's not the clone. He pops the Pop Blossom into the Curse of the Sad Mummy.
My God,
it's a
solo
kill for the Amumu. The solo kill over, but now the Zenith Blade onto Iconic, who is in an isolated 1v3, and Slimy P-Hands just has to run away. As their jungler goes down, the jungle is invaded by Rainy Day, who's been very aggressive this game. Maybe a bit too aggressive, but their team picks up the kills in return. They go down, they get the solo kill, and their team just has more control.
Yeah, I mean, Rainy Day is a little bit aggressive, but I mean, he did get the kill at the end of the day, and he does set his team up for another kill onto the Vi. So you'll take that trade any day of the week.
Wait, Zenith played under dive. Off the friends, Marin jumps out with the net. Reed is taken very low. Now the ultimate cast. Ace in the hole doing decent damage to Engine, but he's going to be able to heal up with the potions. Top lane tier 1. Already. Yeah, already goes down to Thandong, which means more money in the hands of Zahan, who's, you know, I think a level and a half up, likely going to be able to, you know, make most of the way to second item here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, already the full Tiamat plus the tier 2 boots is dangerous, as it's going to be that control on the bot side from that aggressive dive on Marin means that EOD are going to take the second dragon of this game.
Yeah, crucially, that means that this Zahen does have role quest done, so if they wanted to, they could TP down to this dragon, but there's going to be no contest here. So looks like CRT and Iconic looking for a play onto this top lane.
Wait, Lethan jumping back in with the Obscon Abduct. He has the Vi here, but I think Zahen can 2v1 this. He's half the stacks up.
Ari's on the way too.
Breaker with the buffer of the ultimate, flashes in for the Silas, but he gets charmed. Can he get the cultivation of 4 for the revive? Dodges. Overheat rush for the kill as Lethan gets killed by Zahen once again, but now Rita's getting very aggressive. They're just gonna die here. Now Thandong has the revive, but now Rainy Day is here. Thandong doesn't even need the revive.
He's not gonna die.
Rainy Day backs him up for the kill. An Engine going down as well, so it's 2 kills on bot for 2 kills on top. It is a tale of 2 lanes as Marin gets the double kill, but Thandong in a 1v3, I believe, turns it around with a Mumu on the backside. Thandong didn't even need to pop the revive, and they still won that out.
I know. Wow, this Thandong on this Zahen is just absolutely destroying CRT's top side. I mean, they got the kill onto the Silas, and then finally Rainy Day shows up to save the day, gets the kill onto the Ahri, and at the end of the day, it still ends up being a 2-for-2 because Marin and Olo on this Caitlyn Nico get the double kill onto Engine and Redes. I don't know how exactly that ended up happening, but it looked like Redes got chunked out, and then he accidentally takes the Zenith Blade in and tries to flash out, save themselves. But at the end of the day, I think Marin on this Caitlyn just runs down this Leona, runs down this Tristana, and it ends up being a 2-for-2. But the damage is done. I mean, the gold difference still in favor of Emus of Destiny, and they do get the Herald at the end of the day. So overall, I mean, it's still an even trade in kills, but the overall map state is still very much in favor of EOD.
Very much so. I mean, EOD are still in the lead here. Thandong's just a nightmare. I think this is lore accurate Zahen from some guy who doesn't really read the lore. Govna is almost on 2 items, right? Is doing pretty good against Slimy P-Hand, but Thandong
needs to be careful here, though.
Oh my god. That was one auto Q reset from Thandong, and that chunked out so much. They're going for the repeat gank, but Thandong has the revive because he didn't use it earlier. Dashes away from the Bolt Breaker, flashing from Iconic. That's gone Abduct, misses. Thandong stacking up the passive. Can he get the ulti off fast enough? He uses it for the buffer on the damage, heals up a lot. Grim Deliverance from the other side. Thandong on 12 stacks. Can he turn this around? Lethan looking for the Abscon Abduct again. Doesn't manage to hit it. Thandong stacks running down. So multiple ultimates use the Caitlyn. Ace in the hold invested as well. And Zahen still gets out. That's so much time wasted. And that means free tier 1
cross map here.
Lane. And now the charge on the Herald bot. This is likely a dead Ahri. The turret goes down. Redis gets the Zenith Blade in a good spot here. Slippery has all 3 charges used. Can they catch up to this? The charm thrown out. The Zenith Blade. Oh, sorry, the stun not hitting anything. The Moonmoon's going to crash in. Govna uses the Solar Snare, but it doesn't hit much because Ahri's going to flash away. So that is so much pressure on the bot side because they sent so many members top. In the end, it is Crouters trying again and again to kill Thandong, but they cannot because this guy is Thanos.
Yeah, good call there. Yeah, this Zahen is too strong to know. You need more than just. I'll say 2.5 because Caitlyn wasn't fully there even with the ace in a hole. But yeah, you're gonna need more than that to try and kill the Zahen. And not only do you have to kill him once, if he gets passive, you have to kill him twice. So good luck with that. And on the cross map, great play there from EOD to use that Herald, crack open the bot lane tower. Almost getting a kill onto Ahri, but just a few missed skill shots, not able to lock down that Ahri. And at the end of the day, they'll take that trade any day of the week. And this Zahen's still a menace.
Gets the pull back into the knock-up. As you see, Lethan just has to run away. The Riftmaker just finally completed, and I think Thandong, if he chooses the back, they could get the full Stride Breaker now on this purchase. As like you said, Arrow is just very dangerous as we see the invade onto this Vi. The Zenith Blade follow-up, Redis and Rainy Day running down. Iconic on the Vi. The Solar Snare hits into the Searing Barrage. That is just another freebie for Mel. Arcane Season 2 rewritten, baby. As, I mean, this Mel, it might have been super nerfed, but when you're this far ahead, 50 farm, 2 kills, multiple assists, and solar tower plating, I mean, it's pretty good to be this champion.
Yeah, I think they made a lot of, Mel's kit harder to hit with, oh, wait.
Oh my god, Rainy Day, very aggressive, gets hit with the Tangle Barbs, and now the Zenith Blade in. Marin has to keep range as we see the Pop Blossom onto 3, but it doesn't matter. Executed by Mel. Arcane, again, is canon because this Mel is destroying them. Lethan trying to fight Zahen under turret, getting some decent damage to the turret, warming up, dealing big damage, but Thandong has healing from that Q1. If he can get it off, yeah, just a decent heal there. He has the grabs if he wants to hit the Silas, but maybe he's overstayed his welcome.
Oh, 3 people here, okay.
All right, Lethan, can he hit the Abscond of Duck? He can now.
Oh,
the ace
no,
in the full charge as we see the ultimate invested from Zahen, who gets the heal, but I think this is enough.
Passive.
Iconic gets the knockback into the ultimate. This is surely a kill.
Okay.
Shut down over to Iconic's Vi. A nice series of events, as I think Thandong was just feeling himself a bit too much, did not respect the team that was coming back from that previous fight and goes down. But I mean, hey, that pressure on the top side, even though you died, your team gets second drag. I'd say that's a good death.
Yeah, that's definitely a good death there for the side of Thon. I mean, playing with fire a little bit too much there, of course, but I mean, at the end of the day, you drew enough pressure to the top side, allowing your team to get that dragon on the other side. So one more dragon closer to that soul point. So looking good for the side of EOD. I love that they're utilizing this top lane pressure to do other things on the other side of the map because they have the free will to. I mean, even with the vision on their red side, on the enemy red side jungle, this is not looking too good. And even like, God, I mean, this top lane is so bad. I mean, just a few seconds ago, it's a Flame Horizon, 100 CS up. I mean, right now it's only a couple. It's a
Flame Horizon.
It's a freaking Flame Horizon in the top side, and with that Stride Breaker completed, it's a full item ahead on this Silas. This Silas is not looking too good. I noted it in draft because I said I don't think it's a Silas angle because the Ahri and Vi have been picked already, but they found a way to put it into this top lane, but they just did. They thought they didn't know about the Zahen.
Into the Zenith Blade. The Pop Blossom is activated for the disengage. The Curse of Zahen Money means so much damage. Rainy Day goes down to Marin, but Redis is now doing big damage as we see Iconic run down by the Tristana, who barely managed to get out, but it's going to be the explosive charge getting the kill. Redis is just running down the Caitlyn somehow, some way, as they might get the solo kill. Marin finally gets the kill back on the Leona, and on the other side, Slimy Beehands finally making it to the fight, but misses the charm. Can they keep getting more? They go towards Engine. They don't see him in the bush and just whiffs whiffs the Orb of Deception. The ace in the hole hits. Can Bleathen get something? Flash into Kingslayer.
Nice.
Doesn't get much as we see Zahen just solo taking turret spot side. Nell is still fully healthy. They can't keep fighting as CRT. I mean, they get 2 kills back for 2 kills lost, but look at the rest of the map. They're still losing out because Thandong is just taking everything on this side of the bot side.
Yeah, a little bit of an aggressive play there again from Rainy Day, but that seems to be his MO on this Amumu right now, going into the enemy jungle, finding people, and just full sending it with the Curse of the Sad Mummy. But like you pointed out, Kevin, I mean, this Zahen is just on the other side of the map, running circles around everybody.
They can get a pick on Zahen. Marin is here for the damage, but now
healing, but
the backup
3v3 now.
Zahen Engine just blasting the Vi, who has to flash over. Thandong taken very low though by Marin's crits, as Marin, I think, is the only hope you have in this game so far. Govna now walking up. They are looking for the Solar Snare. Oh, pops the Celestial opposition with that bounce back on the rebuttal, so could look for maybe a snare onto someone. It's not as far range as it was before. Bleathen getting very aggressive for just the ward. Charm misses again, unfortunately, for Slimy Beehands. I think you got to put your hands on the keyboard for that, as they're going to fight over, I think, just bot side vision. Zahen almost on 3 items. It is, I think, very dangerous for anyone from CRT to walk up against a Mumu Leona.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous right now. I mean, even with the vision being very favored on the side of CRT, it's going to be really difficult for them Vision being in favor of Emus of Destiny. Sorry, it's going to be really hard for CRT to walk into their own jungle. I mean, it's the same case from game 1, where that Kha'Zix in game 1 was just running around with free vision, killing people killing people for free, but right now it's either Zahen or Amumu. Oh my god, that damage!
Big damage! Whoa. Oh my god, he goes down! Marin with that 3-item power spike just blasts the Zahen in the face. I mean, I keep saying it, but Arcane is canon because this Caitlyn is just ripping people apart. Marin just doing so much damage. I don't think Thandon expected that. He doesn't have much armor, but a huge Caitlyn. Can they get the kill? Marin taking very low. Slimy Behands with the backside damage, but Redis gets the kill. It is now a 2v3 as we see on the other side. Govna losing in the 1v1. Oh, maybe this is the kill.
I don't think he's losing.
That is just a fat execute. I thought it was damage, but it is not. This is Arcane as we see the charm hit onto Leona. Engine and Leona very low. Olo Sonu also very low, but somehow, some way, I mean, the fight turns around in the favor of CRT. They get the pick. They get the team fight. I mean, a 2-for-2 on the most fed member is a pretty decent fight.
Wow, I did not check in with the bot lane here. This Caitlyn has 3 items with an IE already. That is crazy. This Caitlyn absolutely shredded through that Zahen with no resistances yet, and right now it doesn't look like Zahen's good, like, stopping for any tank items. I mean, it looks like they're getting a GA, but this Zahen just gets absolutely shredded from a headshot and a few crits there from Caitlyn. So maybe there's an avenue for CRT to win this, but I think in a general team fight, for example, like the one that just ensued, where Mumu lands Curse of Sad Mummy on her, it's gonna be really rough. I mean, Cleanse is coming up for this next dragon fight, but right now they just don't have the positioning, and Amumu can come from any angle if that they want to, especially now that they have that Randuin's Omen on them.
Yeah, as we see this fighting over the 3rd dragon. Bolt Breaker charged up. Can the Secure come in fast enough?
Has a Mumu.
Oh, and Rainy Day gets it. The Mumu ult is stolen by Spleethan, but we know he's not had
going in.
impact. But now Iconic going in. He's just going to die here, you think, as Engine gets the kill on him, as Rainy Day is trying to frontline and can't do it. On the other side, the Curse of the Sad Mummy activated, and Spleethan is going to go down. The huge ultimate from the Glim Deliverance, as we see Slimy Behands is trying to do much, as we see Marin trying to do more, but it just can't happen. As we see the Golden Eclipse is not even needed. It's a 2-for-5 fight. 3 dragons and 5 kills is pretty good for Rainy Day, even though he dies there. I mean, this guy's been playing aggressive, and that aggression is exactly what you need to see, as it's going to be EOD, the Emus, finding their destiny in that team fight, getting on top of this Baron immediately. I don't know if they can actually take it that fast, though. Engine taken low, Thandong also low, but I think Govna can tank it for them to burn this down.
So I think they have the Baron here, and that's a great team fight there for the side of EOD, getting onto key members and splitting the fight a little bit. I think CRT tried to force the fight because they're in a little bit of a desperate situation, and I think they just split up targets. I don't think they hit the same ones at the same times, and you know, Rainy Day with that Randuin's was so tanky, got their ultimate off, and you know, created space for this Tristana to start hitting, created space for this Mel to start hitting. So both the damage carries on the side of EOD not going untouched, dishing out so much damage, and then on at the end of the day, it's also Thon on the Zahen not dying either. So I think it was a clean team fight win for EOD, and you know, Baron was their prize, and it's just going from bad to worse here for the side of CRT. They're against Soul Point for the side of EOD, and it's and Baron pushing it all in 2 lanes right now is not. Oh, I don't know about this
Iconic,
one.
what are you doing? You're going into a 1v4 and just dying.
No.
I mean, the aggression from both junglers in this game has been puzzling, but I think it's worse for the side of CRT, because that means they don't have their jungler, the guaranteed lockdown for this Baron push. Thanos Dong is on the top side in this game, and it's just Marin and Slimy Behands trying to clear this mid wave.
Yeah, this might just be a slow suffocation of just split pushing a 4-1 right now. It's looking pretty bad. I mean, I have to maybe Iconic thought that Redest was alone on the Leona, but even if they were alone, I don't think you kill a Leona at this point in the game. I mean, yes, you're 3 items, but this Leona is going to survive long enough for somebody to come and help them. So I do have to also question the aggression there, but I mean, this game is looking pretty rough. So rebuttal there.
Yeah, rebuttal. I mean, look at Marin's health bar from just 1 rebuttal, as we see here. Now Iconic is back, has the GA. So
he's going? Okay.
He's just going on the Leona, as we see Engine is firing. The Flash Ball Blossom
gets
stopped by the Baron into the combo. Golden Eclipse gets 1. Iconic taken very low. Now Thandong has made it to the fight, and Engine with a nice buster shot sends them back. The revive happening from the GA, and Bleathin just can't do a damn thing as they both run away. Iconic fleeing for their life, and Marin is still alive, but they can't fire back. Spleethan just barely survives. Iconic barely survives, so it's now a 3v5 push. I think EOD are happy to take the wreckage, to take the money, to take the kills, and they're just going to back off after wreaking havoc on CRT's base.
Yeah, I think they had an opportunity to end there, but not wanting to take the risk to just in case they accidentally throw. I mean, their soul is coming up in a minute and 30 seconds, so they're probably all going to take their backs, finish up some of these items, and get in position for this dragon fight. I mean, the game is pretty much over, but they just wanted it.
On Rainy Day, he has the ultimate stolen, gets the slow with that Q as we see the charm land.
Charm misses
again, but now we see it's in a 2v2. But now Engine is here.
Engine's here.
Delivering onto the Ari, and Engine is just blasting. Buster shot not even needed, just blows him up with the explosive charge. But now, Marin taken so low, or sorry, taking the Thanos so low. Thandong has to back up there. Marin is still very powerful on that 4 items.
Still has TP.
Is the only hope, really, of this team, as it's going to be 2 players down for the side of CRT for just the 1 on EOD, as this Dragon Soul is spawning very soon.
Yeah, I mean, they could totally still take the dragon, but they're looking for a bush play here onto the jungle to even it out.
Solar staring into the death brush, and that golden eclipse just means the end of Vi. I mean, Arcane again and again. I think Mel is more of the main character in Season 2 if you've watched it. So Govna coming back in the time of need to bring it to, you know, not in Game 3, but they're playing it so well on this Mel, on what was, you know, traditionally a very weak champion on this patch. It's just blasting people. They've hit so many solar snares. They stopped the Pop Blossom engage on that previous one, turning around the team fight, and they've just hit everything comparatively to Slimy, who's on the Ari, can't land the charms for that team fight impact.
Largely, yeah, just largely untouched during the laning phase. Not enough pressure on them to slow them down, and it's kind of scaled into infinity right now. So has that death cap, has even a Seeker's Arm Guard to protect themselves from any potential dangers. So right now, not looking pretty good for Govna.
Played onto Bleathen, who's taken solo. Oh, and the chain CC is just too much as he tries to dash out, but he can't do much. Marin firing from the other side, but it just can't do it. As simply, Slimy barely dying. As you see here, the huge engage on the other side. The Pop Blossom hit 3 as the revive goes off on to the GA for the Zahen, as Redist is taken low, gets killed by the Caitlyn, who's blasting. Rainy Day goes down from the crits. Can Thandong do enough? He tries to get the kill on Vi, but it's a triple kill for Marin. They did not have the Tristana in that fight, and they just went for it. They had the Mountain Soul, but now Engine jumps in, gets a kill back with that explosive charge and the rocket jump, but Marin fries him in that team fight because his team plays frontline properly. They get the chain CC. Zahen cannot access the target, and the 2 key carries for EOD just can't get in range, and Marin can. What a big team fight. I mean, they're still down about 12k gold, but I mean, maybe this is the glimmer of hope they need.
Yeah, I think they need a little, I think they need like 5 or 6 more glimmers of hope to really, you know, get themselves back into this game. But I mean, good team fight there. I mean, they Tristana went on a back timer after they secured the soul there, so it was just the 4 members of EOD following Rainy Day into was essentially the enemy base. But I mean, it looked kind of good up until the point where I kind of looked at Mirror and it was like, oh, he's kind of just popping off in the back line. So really good positioning there from Mirror and just hitting the key members. And that spot specifically also a tough spot for Govna to kind of affect the team fight there. So finding a great avenue back into this game. I wouldn't say they're back, but it's a good first step. I mean, they're still 12k gold down. I mean, but if CRT can protect this Caitlyn and, you know, give them time to shred through the members of EOD, maybe they can pull this game out of the bag. But with Mountain Soul, it's going to be so hard to get through all the resistances on the side of EOD.
I mean, he did it once. Maybe Marin is Merlin, and he can do it again. As we see the engage, they see the Zahen is on the bot side. Can they win this 4v5? Bleathen looking for the abscond abduct, doesn't hit it, as Iconic just can't find anything. Slimy not going in, and on the other side, the Pop Blossom invested on Engine, who gets caught. They've tried to get the kill on the Tristana, and they managed to do it. The Solar Flare invested. Redis now getting run down. Protobelt invested. Can the charm hit? It does. Already finally getting charmed. As we see the cease and desist onto the backline, they're trying to go for the Mel. I don't think they can do it fast enough, and Zahen is wrecking the base.
No, you don't want to reflect that!
Nice rebuttal onto the Mel. Will this Mel go down? They pop the Zanya's Bleathen healing up from that Kingslayer, but now look at the base. It's getting destroyed. Mel finally goes down, but they have to back immediately. They're going for the Baron here, but look at the base. Zahen is going to create havoc, and I don't think one members enough to stop Thandong. It's going to Gleathan, and we've seen him lose this fight before. Thandong is just ripping him to shreds. As we see here on the other side, Ari finally makes it to the fight. Can Thandong do it? Rainy Day looks for the steal, but he can't get it. Thandong actually losing in the 2v1, and he actually goes down. What is going on? A CRT managed to find the miracle fight, the rebuttal at the exact wrong time, sends Mel back into her death, and EOD, who had perfect control of this game, throw after, sus team fight into Baron over now for the side of CRT. They might have an angle back into this game.
Oh no, I mean, that is the angle back into this game. Baron's going to delay the game a little bit longer for the members of CRT to get back into the game, but oh man, I think EOD kind of overplayed their hand there. Like they probably don't need to be in that position at Baron as Thon is pushing bot lane. I mean, they saw a lot of members of CRT in the river staring at them, but all you have to do is back off and not let them walk into engage range. Just let Thon push in the bot lane, create that pressure, but they overstep. Thon hadn't gotten to the top of the bot lane tower yet, and all of a sudden it was just an easy snap. It was a great snap engage onto the Tristana there from the Nico with a Pop Blossom, and they catch out the Tristana, one of the key members there of EOD, and then it's just an easy chase down onto the Mel, onto the Mumu, and it was just a clean win there for CRT. So right now they have position here for Dragon's not up yet, so I don't know what they're just positioning.
They're just fighting 5v5. They get stunned onto Slimy P hands, but he ulties onto Engine on the backside. Govna's actually
really
losing to the Stylus, and Rainy Day's trying to run down Marin. He gets the stun. He has no damage though, and Marin's just gonna gun him down. Gleathan actually gets the kill onto Mel somehow, some way, in the Zahen TVs, and he gets the ulti off. But Thandong is taking so much damage. Slimy is gonna go down here from the flash, but on the other side, Redis goes down. No, a huge solar blast with the Tristana, who goes down, and Thandong has no revive. They have no revive. They have no GA. I think this is going to be game. They have Baron for the side of CRT.
That's insane. We were just a few minutes ago, we were saying this is a win-one game for the Emus of Destiny, but it seems like Destiny has flipped the script, and all of a sudden it's CRT pushing for the win.
This is absolutely insane, Arrow, and what was a banger best of 3. Somehow, someway, CRT claw back into their way to win the series. EOD find defeat from the jaws of victory. They're gonna lose game 3, unfortunately. They're still at a gold advantage, and the Nexus explodes, and that's the only damn thing that matters, as CRT win the best of 3 against the Emus of Destiny in what was an insane best of 3 and final game.
No way they come back from that position. I mean, it was such a one game for Emus of Destiny. I don't know how you throw that. I mean, I was so convinced that they were going to win this game that I didn't look at not Tristana. I didn't look at Caitlyn at some point, and all of a sudden I looked down at Caitlyn. They have an IE, and they're shredding through the Zahen, and all of a sudden that was just the spark that they needed to kind of walk themselves back into this game. I mean, they still had opportunities to to lose that game, of course, but then it was Rainy Day on this Amumu pushing a little too far into the base and getting absolutely wiped out by this Caitlyn shredding through everybody, and then another botched attempt at Baron absolutely throws the game, and then another fight in the jungle. Absolutely, it's just unbelievable.
Unbelievable is the word. I mean, I was so stunned I forgot to turn on cam for the end of games, like post game. I'm astounded. I'm wordless. I mean, Marin with 50k damage in this game. We thought Thandong would just run over this game, but he died more times in the end than he actually contributed. He went for the base push, and they just could not do it. I mean, this, like you said, I don't know how they lost. Like, even at the very end, the Emus were ahead in gold, ahead in kills. They had map pressure, but that one fight where Marin picked up a triple kill because Engine just didn't show up to the fight for some reason. They lose there. I mean, they flip around Baron. They lose there as well. And, the over-aggression, maybe a bit too much stunting from the side of Emus means they're destined to lose, as somehow, someway, it's CRT. The Crouters are the wrecking crew in game 3, and they clawed back just barely with I'd say a super performance from Marin.
Oh my gosh, yeah, super performance indeed. I mean, none of this probably happens without like just key snap engages from especially from that Nico. You know that Nico landing, especially in that overextension from Rainy Day. Nico landed I think a 3 or 4 man ulti there to kind of like slow down the fight and build space for Marin. And then at that Baron, right before that Baron catching out the engine on that Tristana, it was clutch in chasing down all the members. So I mean, Marin absolutely shredding through everyone, yes, and doing the most damage, getting the most kills. But at some point, it was just a team effort just to walk themselves back into the game, and team effort, and also a little bit of just overplaying their hand from Emus of Destiny. They had that in the bag, and they just got a little bit impatient, not waiting for their members to group up, and then finding getting team fights at a big disadvantage, unfortunately. So congratulations to Crouters. You have won this matchup for now, and I mean, hopefully we get more of this in playoffs. Like, give me more. I want to see more of these two teams go at each other. Give me a best of 5.
If I have to cast a best of 5 with that many swings and throws and Baron flips, I might have a heart attack before the end of the series here, Arrow, because that was absolutely insane. I mean, I thought we were, the two of us were like, for sure, they have a 12k gold lead.
Yeah,
They didn't even go down in gold by the time their Nexus exploded. The Zahan has an over 150 farm minion lead. The Vi doesn't have GA. She's just throwing herself in and dying, but the engine, I think, absolutely has to, like, no flame. I love all the players in our league, but not flashing or ulting away the Nico from that one engage means they die. The Zahan doesn't have TP to make it to the fight, and it's just insane. I mean, I don't know how they met it. Again, I'm still astounded. I mean, Arrow, any final words before before I jump into like an insane asylum after watching that game, as we're going to go quickly after the break to a winner's interview with Crouters.
I mean, just I'm still speechless. I mean, a lot of like for this, a lot to like for this game. I mean, at the end of the day, Emus of Destiny, you guys did generate a big enough lead, that like a big enough 12k like lead. So like they know how to generate leads pretty consistently. I mean, in game 1, especially, even game 2, they had leads at some point, but it was and they even fought back in that game 2, but it just wasn't enough, I think. But Emus of Destiny, I mean, yes, you did lose today, but there's so many positives to build off of, especially with that early mid game. But it's just that late game, you getting a little too excited and then a little too ahead of yourselves, not working together a little bit. But I mean, Crouters, congratulations. I mean, you came back from a 12k deficit. I mean, if you can win those type of games, then you can win any game. So I'm ready to talk to some of these guys later.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's going to be a great interview with whoever we interview from the side of Team Crouters. Thanks, Arrow, for taking us to the, for segueing us into the end game, post-game interview, post-series interview. Man, my brain is fried from seeing that gameplay last game. But to all of our fans, we hope you've been enjoying the series as much as we did, because it's been insane. And again, like Arrow said, hopefully it's going to be this crazy for playoffs. We're going to jump to a quick break, but we'll be back very soon with a winner's interview from the side of Crouters. Take it away, multitudes.
Don't try to make yourself remember, darling. Don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer, 'cause when we're gone, everything goes on. You were staring at the window, and I said, I wanna take you to the sea. And when I'm better, we'll do everything. I gotta stop making promises I can't keep. But if I was gone tomorrow, as we pass the setting sun. Someday I'll be overcast, but you won't have to cry, 'cause we'll do the grieving while I'm by your side. I said, don't try to make yourself remember, darling. Don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer, 'cause when we're gone, everything goes on. And I'm so scared of getting
Hello, everyone who is still watching the Risen Esports League on this fabulous Tuesday of what was an insane series. We're back for the winners interview with the member of CRT, the Crouters. Make it crew. True to the crew. I mean, we have Iconic here, who is the jungler for Team Crouters. Yeah, after what was an insane series, I mean, it's been 3 hours of you guys just playing some hardball League of Legends. First question is, like, you got absolutely blasted on the Xinjiao in that first game, I believe, by the Kazakhs. How, and then in the game 3, you guys are down 12k gold lead. Did you ever like look at the tab score? You see your top laners getting Flame Horizon. Like, what is the mental resilience that you had to like build for the series? Like, tell us about your thought process.
Yeah. So it's actually kind of all ties back into our team name, the Crouters. It just stands for
Oh,
Crash
we've been
Outers.
saying it wrong the whole time. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
no worries, no worries. Yeah, so it stands for Crash Outers. Yeah, so our team is pretty well known for just kind of tilting out pretty early, especially me. So my team did a great job of keeping me in check. But as far as after the first game with Kazakhs, I felt so bad that I got absolutely gapped in the jungle there, and it was kind of a mid jungle gap that game. And then coming back into it, we just tried to in game 2 play something a little bit more simple. And then by the time we got to game 3, that's when we decided to do just kind of like a classic Crowders draft where we just full send it and hope for the best and fight as much as we can. And, it ended up working out in our favor right at the end there, which was great to see.
I mean, damn, yeah. I mean, it was great to see indeed. I mean, I'm gonna pass it over to Arrow. I mean, yeah, thanks, Iconic, for sharing. The mental fortitude you guys had to get out of that series. But I'll pass it over to Arrow to ask our next question.
Yeah, I have to praise your mental fortitude and your ability to stay in the game and bounce back from especially a tough game 1 and the start of that game 3. So, but I did want to talk about or ask about that draft in game 3. I mean, at the start with the first 3 picks, I see Ari, Nico, Vi, and then on the other side it's Mel, Mumu, Leona, and then I remember specifically saying like, oh, this is a great Silas draft, but I think they've already taught their jungle mid, but you guys eventually did lock in that Silas on that 4th pick there. So talk to me about that, because when I was like doing some scouting on you guys, I didn't see a Silas anywhere in your top lanes pool. So can you talk to me about that Silas pick?
Yeah. So our top laner, we were just talking through draft as we were going for it, and we kind of had just the idea of the full send comp, just like fight the whole time. And we were talking about how these are a lot of good ults to steal. So we go and we bring up Silas, and our top laner says like, oh, like I've played that before, like I'm pretty sure I can play it and just like, win lane and be fine, right? Lo and behold, after the game, our top laner lets us know that he's played Silas top maybe like twice in his entire career, which I think showed in the the level of gameplay we got at the start.
Oh boy.
Being down like 100 some CS, but he showed his worth at the end of the team fight where he split off Mel, and we won off that fight where he was able to actually take Leona's ulti, hit that stun right at the end. So, he earned his keep that game. So we won't he'll be on the team for next week. We won't make any changes.
That is awesome. Arrow, any follow up from that?
I mean, I think the only thing I have to say, I mean, is like after game 2, you had EOD had one mid laner, and then game 3 they had a different mid laner again. Was there anything that switched up your draft strategy from that?
For the most part, not really. We swapped in the like Vel'Koz ban because we saw that that was something that we had scouted earlier on that they played in the mid lane. But other than that, like we tend to just stick to like what we know, what we're good at, and that's kind of our draft philosophy. Like we'll try to ban things that we think are going to like very much like stop our style of gameplay, like the
Gotcha.
Poppy in the last match. But for the most part, no. Like we'll play against anybody. We just like to go out, have fun, and just fight. That's kind of our whole team
Awesome.
motto.
Well, that is awesome to hear. They're iconic. I mean, your plays on the Vi were pretty iconic. I mean, I'm we no flame, but when we see a mistake of caliber of just jumping into four people and dying right before Baron, we're like,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
they for sure must have
Oh
lost
yeah.
this game. But you guys
Yeah.
again claw it back somehow, some way. But I guess last question for the two of us here is just going to kind of get a read on your opponents. I guess you don't know them exactly coming up unless you've checked the schedule, but I think you're pretty locked in for playoffs moving forward. Like, is there any like without giving away too much, things that you're gonna have to work on to kind of show their best team selves in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think our biggest thing will be like the mid jungle synergy. I think that's probably like our weakest aspect of our team, and it's where we get punished a lot. Whether that's like covering plays that can happen, or if like a summoner gets blown and I need to cover that. Because teams, at this level that we're playing at tend to kind of punish that over and over again, and they get, 5 minutes or so to punish it. So it can pretty much swing the whole course of the game, like we saw in the first game with Anivia. And then again, started to see with the Galio game, but our mid laner did a great job of kind of mitigating that issue that game, and it led us to just being able to kind of dominate that second game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that as well. I mean, the mid jungle prio is going to be big. We're gonna now pass it off to you for the last kind of final words of this little interview. And if you'd like to give any shout outs before we, let you leave for tonight.
Yeah, just shout out to everybody that watches the broadcast and everything. It's been a ton of fun. It's our first year, our first split playing in the Risen Esports League, and it's been a ton of fun. We've had a blast. Everybody's been great, so it's been a great experience.
Great. Great. Well, thank you for that positive note. We're going to have to let you go here so that you can, get enough rest for all the scrims and practice you're going to do with, with B-Hands to, really make that mid-jungle duo exquisite. So thank you so much, Iconic. Shout out to you and your team Crouters. I got it right this time. The Crouters for taking what was a very hard-fought win in this series tonight.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Right, and that does it from our post-game interview with Iconic. Very iconic plays throughout the whole match. Both good and bad on many champions, the Vi, the Xin Zhao, and the Wukong. Yeah, we're gonna pass it off. I'll pass it off to you, Arrow. Do you have any final words for the stream before we take it away here?
Nothing much. I mean, what a great series that we both got to watch here, Kevin. Congratulations again to the Crouters for their 2-1 victory over EOD. I mean, I'm really looking forward to playoffs. I mean, these two teams should have seeds into the playoffs. So if they find themselves fighting each other again in the playoffs, I'm looking forward to that series. I want 5 games again. I drank everything we saw into my veins. So other than that, great cast today, Kevin, and always a pleasure casting with you.
Thank you so much, Arrow, and same goes over to you. It's always a pleasure to have you by my side. And shout out to Multitudes, who's cast I believe producing for the two of us for the first time today, who's been an amazing job. So shout out to Multitudes on production. But for all who are watching Risen Esports, still thank you for joining us in this series as we ramp up to Bamis Division playoffs coming soon. We have one more week of the regular season before we go to playoffs March 10th. So everyone, mark your calendars. We're going to be here same time, same place, same casters ideally, and we're going to bring more great League of Legends team builder gameplay. So for everyone still watching, we wish you a good night, and we can't wait to have you join the stream again soon.